So very good morning to my offline students as well as online students. How are you guys doing? All good? So before we start the formal introduction of the subject as well as how we are going to go about this journey. So I would like to ask you just one simple question. How many of you have attended any lecture before this one with me? Any sort of lecture? You, I know you, I can recall. Yes, you have already attended. Okay, wonderful. And to my online student, general studies, wonderful. How many of you are from my GS batches? From the GS batches of the previous GS batches, right? Anybody from the current GS batch online? All right, fine. How many of you are attending my current affairs? Current affairs, wonderful. Good, but many of you are not. So this gives me an idea about how to shape up this journey. Okay, now it's time, so we'll start. So guys, see, there must be a reason that you decided to study this subject as one of the most important components of your UPSC preparation. So that's your economics module, but this is a misnomer. Reason being that you are not going to debate, this audio issue is there, so can you fix it? So we are not going to study only economics. I'm going to show you what actually we are going to study, because this cannot be the only thing that can be taught in an economics module, because there are various interlinkages that has to be learned along with this subject. So this can be bifurcated into so many parts. But before I show you that, kuch main aapko dikhata hu, something very interesting. Why economics? So what happened is, I'll tell you a very simple story, 30 seconds. So almost a decade and a half back, I got an exposure to economics. Trust me, the life has been very different since that day, because whatever else I was doing before that, I left and I started to get into the subject more and more. And then the passion and the love for this subject compelled me to stay in this field. So I was not an economics student before I started my journey. I was from a science background. Directly jumped into economics masters, liked it so much that continued with my PhD. Then I realized that there is one aspect which is not taught in a hardcore economics course, which is masters and PhD, and that is the corporate functioning, how the companies behave, what they do, etc., etc. So then I decided to pursue an MBA. So that completed the loop, and then I realized the moment that okay, the loop is complete, then I realized no, this subject is such that you can never learn it completely. You always are a student of the subject. So you are also a student at a different stage. I'm also a student and a learner of the subject at a different stage, obviously. So that is how this subject started. Now, it's very powerful and very addictive kind of subject. So a few things that you should do and a few things that you should not do. Because addictions can be very dangerous, aapko pata hai. It can take you to either side. So I'll show you what addictions can do, and it will help you to understand the perspective. So guys, I've got some pictures for you. Look carefully. So as you can read here, यहाँ पे देखिए कुछ नजर आएगा. You can see something, co-convener G20 expert group, something like that written. You see, co-convener G20, etc. And there is a picture. Who is this gentleman? He is Dr. N.K. Singh. Right, head of the Finance Commission, successive finance commissions, so many committees he has been heading. What is so special about him? So he qualified UPSC as an IS officer. He started to work with the government of India. And because after he became an officer, he got some expertise and he started to polish his skills as an economist after getting through UPSC. So government of India valued his skills, and government said that, boss, you are going to represent India not only in terms of committees within India, but outside India as well. So he's our face in G20. Along with Larry Summers, he is the one who is heading the reform committee, which is giving us reforms about IMF, World Bank, etc. So he is the one who is telling the world and G20 that, boss, you should change IMF. Can you believe it? Like, being an Indian, it's so difficult because they don't accept us, especially the Indian policymakers at the helm of affairs of these multilateral development banks. They won't ever digest it, but this man, because he kept himself updated, got an expertise, so here we are. That's an IS officer for you. Now, so what is wrong with the audio? Dekh lo. Okay, no problem. If you are facing any technical issue, you please mention it there. Our team is reading it, they will fix it definitely. So that's number one. Number two, He's one of my favorites. Why? He has history background. So he completed his graduation in history. And when the government of India appointed him as the governor, can you imagine this? He being appointed as the governor of RBI immediately after Dr. Raghuram Rajan and Dr. Urijit Patel, both of them being global economists. Dr. Rajan is slated to win Nobel Prize anytime in future. He can win Nobel Prize, I'm telling you this. One day you will see his name in the Nobel list of winners. So he being appointed as the governor of RBI, after Dr. Rajan and Dr. Patel, he does not have an economics background. Entire world was laughing at him. And everybody was saying, kudos India, well done. What will a bureaucrat do? He said, Acha, you use the word bureaucrat. Now I'll show you what I can do. So what has he been doing? He has been winning the award. See, there's an award he is holding. That's the reason I got this picture for you. Which award is he holding? Consistently every year, 190 countries of the world is voting him as the best governor of a central bank in the world. All the members of IMF, World Bank, they are voting him and they are saying that you are the best governor of the world. From history background. What is so special about him? There is one thing which is very special. So when he appeared in UPSC, he cracked UPSC exam, is an IS officer. So he did not have economics as an optional. He did not have any economics background. He's from Delhi University, simple history student. But when he became an officer, after that, he got himself trained. He started to do his MBA. He did his master's in finance after he became an officer. And rest is history. And you see what he is doing. Single-handedly, he has selected an amazing team in RBI, which is digitizing India's payment system. So he is the one who is being given credit that after the debacle of demonetization, etc., he is the one who reformed the entire payment landscape of India, that too in a positive direction. So guys, if you do not have an economics background, there is something like this which you can draw your inspiration from, that your academic background is not going to decide what you do in future. Of course, what will decide what you do in future? The passion and the zeal for learning something new and constantly upgrading and updating yourself. That's very important. Easily I got this example for you. Now, third example. This I will teach you in the class as well. So he's again one of my favorites. So he inspires me a lot. So his name is Dr. Prabhat Kumar. The definition of MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises. So in today's lecture, next lecture, I'll use the word MSME, but I will teach you this only after 2-3 lectures, the word MSME. So he is the one who gave the definition and the new concept of MSME to Government of India. You must be reading a lot of schemes related to street vendors in India. He is the one who told the Government of India that don't leave the street vendors behind, because without them, your definition of poverty, etc. will never be complete. You include them and help them come out of poverty, because they are also vulnerable class of India. Constitution does not mention street vendor as vulnerable, but he says that there is a new class or new layer of the society which emerges every 10-20 years. So somebody whose name was not there in the vulnerable list, now that person has become vulnerable. So he says don't leave them behind. So that's his specialty. He is the one who contributed a lot, and let me tell you about his background, and you can draw a lot of inspiration from this guy. One of my absolute favorites along with Dr. Shakti Kandas. So he completed his MSc in physics and mathematics from Allahabad University. Then he goes to London School of Economics, completes his education, comes back to India, qualifies UPSC with a single-digit rank. He could have easily become IFS officer, but he says, no, I'll stay in India. Easily he could have become the head of World Bank or IMF. People like them, they head World Banks, they held IMFs. What does he do? He stays in India. He says, I'll work here. And when Jharkhand was carved out of Bihar, as one of the states, 2000, he became the governor of Jharkhand. After that, he was getting ticket from every political party. He leaves, he says, I am good as a policy maker, not as a politician. So he leaves his active life and he started to give consultancy to IMF, World Bank, Government of India through his research institute. So that's the power of an officer. In fact, yes, I can see that. Very good morning. So that's the power of an IS officer. What is he doing? What is his biggest contribution? In one line, if I have to tell you the contribution, because of his new definition and approach, approximately, according to my calculation, roughly 2 to 3 crore extra individuals got included, which the government was not ready to include, but they got included in the definition of MSMEs, and they are getting all the help from the government. So imagine 2 crore families getting the benefit from just one person, because he's a visionary. And who is calling him for consultancy, etc. Almost every country in the world calls him and says, sir, you are a master of MSMEs, you know how to create small industries, how to increase GDP using small industries, can you please help us? Every state government in India, some countries across the world, including best of universities, they call him. And who is he? An officer from India. So if somebody tells you that, pata nahi kya hai, what is this UPSC, don't glorify. I'm not glorifying UPSC at all. In fact, UPSC comes much later. First, I told you their backgrounds, that see where they started. But UPSC gives you that platform from where you can almost become anything in life. It's a beautiful journey that you have started, and I'm sure you would have started your preparation already. Yahan pe na, there is a word of caution. The reason I got this picture, I could have got a separate picture of Geeta Gopinath, but then deliberately I brought this picture because this is your first word of caution for today's lecture. This is an orientation class which I planned for you because I thought you should know what to do, what not to do for your preparation. Because it happened in last few years since I have been teaching that I teach my students for UPSC related economics, etc. And some of my students end up getting into masters and PhD of economics, which I don't want. Right? So just be careful. I'll tell you what to do, what not to do. Huh? So now look at this. That's your Dr. Geeta Gopinath. You know it. I don't need to introduce her. So global figure. Obviously, you will see in a few years, Dr. Rajan and Dr. Geeta Gopinath in the race for Nobel Prize. Obviously, because she has been shaping up a lot of global policies. The gentleman that you see on that side is her husband. His name is Dr. Iqbal Singh Dhaliwal. Dr. Iqbal Singh Dhaliwal is her husband, and they were students of Delhi School of Economics at one point of time. They both were in the same batch. Ab dekho yahan se what lesson you have to draw. Not that you have to be a student in the same batch. So they were students in the same batch. He decided after he completed his masters that he will qualify UPSC and he will serve as an IS officer in India. He cracked UPSC in his first attempts. In fact, he was a UPSC topper. And he was placed in Tamil Nadu cadre. And by the way, he was a Vajiram student long time back. She also tried. So she decided to appear. When he cracked UPSC, she changed her mind. She said, I don't think I'm meant for this because my heart is somewhere else. So before she could actively pursue the UPSC dream, she quit. She said, no, I don't want to. And what did she do? He became an officer in India, same batch. After they did their masters, she left India. She went to University of Washington. And there, so in India, she completed her masters and then she completes her PhD, etc. She stays there, teaches, becomes a professor. And at that time, he was a serving officer. So after a few years, he, I think, worked for 5 to 7 years. Then he quit. And he said, my heart is also somewhere else. So, I mean, career-wise. So he also goes abroad and he joins MIT. In MIT, he becomes the head of JPAL, Jameel Poverty Alleviation Lab. So getting into MIT itself is one of the biggest things. So he, along with Dr. Abhijit Banerjee, the Nobel Prize winner, they co-founded JPAL. And there he becomes the director. He's one of the directors currently. And what is he doing? Now he is helping countries of the world to reduce poverty and ultimately eliminate poverty, to help the vulnerable section of the societies. So go to Africa, go to South America, all the policies these countries are launching thanks to this guy. And what is she doing? She is helping the financial system of the world and he is helping the development economics. Now look at their path, different path. Through UPSC, without UPSC. So that's the reason I got this example to tell you that let's not glorify anything. Everybody has a dream which is very unique. So her dream was she wants to serve in a different way. His dream was I want to qualify UPSC, understand how public policy works, and he worked for 7-8 years. Now dekho abhi, since you are in the class, I am assuming, and that is my first word of caution to you, I am assuming that 100% your heart and soul is this, 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 and this. That's the reason we are in the class. Later on, after you get into UPSC, you become an officer, after 10-20 years, maybe you might have a change of heart. And you might feel, no, now I want to contest the election of US, presidential election, like Kamala Harris. Ho sakta hai. And nobody can stop you because you can become anything in life. But that will happen after 20 years when you change your mind. Currently, your heart and soul should be here, 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 and only here. Right. So be very careful about your goal. End goal is very important. So since your end goal is UPSC, You have to look at the subject and study the subject in a way which helps you to qualify the competitive exam and not to do a PhD. That's the first word of caution. Okay? So which means whatever we do in the class, it will be knowledge plus UPSC orientation. This is very important. It cannot only be knowledge. It has to be competitive kind of knowledge, which gives you an edge. Because imagine this guy would have said in his first attempt, Nana, I will do a PhD first. He would not have qualified UPSC. But what did he do? He says, you study big things, I will study for UPSC. And he achieves his dream and says, now I'm happy. Right. So that was my small word of caution for you. Now here comes the most important part, which I was analyzing. There comes the real thing of economics. Ye dekhiye. So guys, see, that's your prelims. I have just tried to map some of the number of questions that I could see based on the years. So ye dekhiye, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yahan pe you should focus this and try to get a picture out of this. It will really help you. So if you look at the number of questions, yahan pe I have created a map also. It starts from this. 17, 18 is the verse. So if a subject is like that, which gives you verse 17 to 18 question in how many years? 1, 2, 3. This was one of the, I don't know, maybe COVID effect, etc., because there was nothing to ask this year. Because we were doing so bad in economics in 2020 and 21 in every aspect, there was nothing which was working. So obviously nobody would like to ask those questions in the exam. But then look at this, look at the pattern. So I just took an average. Average is 20.67. This is your cutoff. Ye to thoda too much of data. I have simplified it for you. Ye dekho simplified form. That's your simplified graph. And we will use this kind of graph a lot. The economists literally, they survive on this graph. Ab dekho, what is this graph? This is your number of question and this is your year. So if you look at years, and that's your number of questions in UPSC. So 0, 20, 50, 100 MCQs. See where economics is. So roughly around 20 questions, this is what you get from economics. Ab dekho, you understand, if you look at last 5 years, that UPSC cutoff in prelims is around 90. Right, somewhere around 90, that's your cutoff, which we chalo 95. Which means that literally if you do 50 questions right with 100% efficiency, half of the question paper, just half, you qualify the exam of last 5 to 6 years. Literally. Now, imagine that in this half, to help you to qualify the cutoff, there is one subject which is almost helping you to reach half of the cutoff. That's the importance of this subject. So imagine that we have gathered here for economics in next 3.5 to 4 months. If we are able to develop that caliber, that with full confidence, before this is our, let's say, final lecture here, with full confidence, all of us can stand here and say that I'm ready or we are ready. Imagine the kind of confidence that you will get and imagine the kind of extra push you are going to get in UPSC. This can actually change your life if you do it really well. Add polity to it. So I'm not saying don't study other subjects. I'm just saying that let's add 1 or 2 more things to it. Add polity to it. Add either geography or environment or history, whatever is your favorite. Just 1 more subject. With just 3 subjects, you can crack this exam if you do it really smart. And if you are good in 4 subjects out of 8 subjects that UPSC requires you to do in prelims, if you are good in just 4 subjects, you crack UPSC prelims, not on the margin, but at least you will get 5 marks extra compared to the cutoff. And this subject can give you that kind of push, which you have no idea of. And now what is so special about this subject? It really helps you to understand newspaper. It helps you to understand the government policies. Acha, ek baat batao. Anybody who does not understand economics, can they understand GS paper 2? That why the government of India has launched e-governance plan, why direct benefit transfer. These are all GS paper 2. But you can understand this only when you understand that acha, through direct benefit transfer, the wastage in the economy can be reduced. Right? That is called targeting. So which means nobody can understand GS paper 3 without 2 and 2 without 3. So 2 and 3 are best friends. So what we will do is when we do these kind of courses like economics in the class, like module that you have joined, so on many occasions you will see me referring a lot to GS paper 2. Wherever I feel, see that we will bring the constitution, we will bring the amendments, we will bring, so many things related to what is there in polity in the class, and we'll try to establish the interlinkages. Very, very crucial. I remember one incident which happened last year. Last year also I took one module. So something very interesting happened, and if you check the sources, you will find it easily. So I remember that was a class on taxation. So instead of starting with the definition of tax, we spent almost like 3 hours just trying to understand what are the constitutional provisions related to the word taxes, what is mentioned in the constitution related to the word cess and surcharge. And we were trying to have a debate in the class, having a nice discussion. For 3 hours it lasted. We wrote every possible article, Supreme Court judgment, wo sab pura, we made awesome notes. And then we realized that here this is extra, right? Who will ask this? Next day was UPSC mains, just like today. Right, so at that time, the next day was UPSC mains and it was GS paper 3. Guess what question came? So the question that came in UPSC was that discuss the constitutional provisions related to GST. And where was this question asked? GS paper 2. It was not asked in GS paper 3. Constitutional provisions in GS paper 2 related to GST. It has been asked twice in UPSC. So guys, that's what I'm telling you, that do you really feel that if you are attending an economics lecture where we are supposed to study taxation, if we come in the class and start to do, hey, GST means this is the definition of GST, input tax credit, class over, life settled. But that's a very bad way of studying. Why? Because the moment you use the word taxation, either you have to go to constitution, because this is UPSC, competitive exam. This is not economics PhD. In PhD, you don't study these things. In UPSC, though, you will have to study these things. So whatever we do in the class cannot be extra. It is within your syllabus. What are we trying to do? We are trying to establish the connection between various things, that, okay, how is GS paper 2 connected to paper 3, and it has to be done together. So yes, there will be few things which you might feel that what is the need to do? It is GS paper 2. There is a need to do, because random things cannot be brought in concepts. It has to be derived out of constitution or Supreme Court judgments or cases, and then after knowing the background, we can start. Which means that I will constantly tell you that, beta, kal, tomorrow, please revise article 20, article 15, article 16. Yes, of these things I'll tell you. And if possible, wherever you get stuck, I'll help you out. Okay? These are the things that we are going to do. It's going to be an amazing journey, let me tell you, because economics is that kind of subject. Now that's your syllabus, which we are going to study. So I'm coming out of the frame. So look at the board, please. That's how I have decided this year. So see, economics module I am dividing into 3 parts. The first part is your hardcore economics. The second part is your agriculture. And the third part is your answer writing. In the first part, I'm going to teach you NCERT and other basics, because you understand that, and let me tell you, whatever you do in life, but in competitive exams, NCERT is the important book, one of the most important books that you have to prepare. One cannot ignore, because I have seen people, in a very fancy manner, they will tell you, up to NCERT has lost relevance, etc., etc. Absolute lie. It has not lost relevance. So NCERT we are going to do, whatever is important from NCERT, everything will be covered. Do you need to buy NCERT? No. We will discuss entire NCERT, whatever is relevant for UPSC in the class itself. And I'll give you notes out of it, so you don't need to buy any book. So that solves that problem, that are we doing NCERT? 100% yes. And I will tell you in those lectures that this is NCERT lecture. So that's your NCERT, other basics. NCERT does not contain many topics. Example, inflation is not given in NCERT. However, that's very important topic. So that's also basics. So those basics which are not given in NCERT, we'll do it separately. Plus real life example. अब देखो ये बहुत important है. देखो पता है क्या? The best way to learn something is that you learn the simple concept in a very easy manner, then try to link it with what is happening in real life. If you are able to establish this connection, that concept that you are learning, basic concept, stays in the mind forever. And when somebody will create MCQ out of it, you will play with the concept and will play with the question and the concept. Why? Because you have connected NCERT and basics with real life example. आपको छोटा सा example लेता हूँ. I was talking about, let's say, poverty reduction. Government these days is saying that poverty has reduced. Now, if you are reading NCERT, you will see that there is a chapter called poverty, where NCERT says that government of India measures poverty using calorie. For example, so what happens is, let's say I am doing some physical work in urban area. Somebody is doing physical work in rural area. Their requirement of calorie or energy is different. So government of India says that we will have different measures of poverty, which means if I am able to get 2 slices of bread in urban area, that will give me sufficient energy, then I am not poor. And in rural area, if somebody is getting 3 slices of bread, consuming it, getting energy, that person is not poor. This is how we define poverty in India. But then, if you connect it with real life, you will understand that bread is not the only thing that you consume. Along with bread, you consume medicines, you transportation facility, educational institution. वो सब भी तो expenses are there. So how can you exclude these things from measuring poverty? If I'm not able to transport myself from one place to another, if I'm not able to pay the hospital bill, I'm poor. which means if you connect it with real life, you see the problem. Government also saw the problem. What did government do? Government appointed committees after committees to resolve this issue. That's how you establish the interlinkages with real life. Real life is not very different from textbook if you know how to establish the connection. So guys, we are going to establish a lot of examples to understand this, because this part is not easy. It's complicated. With real life example, it becomes super smooth and easy. Number 2, core topics. What are core topics? Balance of payments. Like foreign investment, banking, these are core topics. The monetary policy committee, inflation targeting, these things are called as core topics. So what are we going to do? Yahan pe na, there is something interesting. Whenever we do core topics like balance of payment, we immediately have to examine that in last 1.5 years. So there is one question, I know it will come to your mind, that current affairs has to be done for how many months for a particular examination like UPSC. So my assessment is, if you do a current affairs for let's say 1.5 years, you are safe. If you do it for 1 year, I don't know. If you do it for at least 1.5 years, very safe. So we are going to bring out at least 1.5 to 2 years of current affairs in the class. So this year, last year, and thoda uske pehle. We'll bring it and then we will connect it with core concepts. So if I teach you inflation in the class, you will see me telling you that, okay, this is 2024. We will start our story from 2021. That, okay, from 21, what is the trend of inflation? That's UPSC, it does that. So they will conduct the examination in 25 and they will ask you the question, beta, batao, what happened during COVID? Why was the inflation very high? And they will call it current affairs. So for UPSC, 1.5, 2 years can be current affairs, even 3 years can be current affairs, which is for different topic, the word current affairs will have a different definition. So that's why when we do these core topics, it is our duty that we have to understand what happened last year, last to last year, last to last year, and in last 5 years, which is called trend. So whatever is happening in the economy of the society for at least 5 years, we use the word trend. So we have to do the trend part also. Yahan pe. So which solves your problem, because otherwise you would keep thinking that current affairs kab karenge. It will be done here itself. Next is application plus current affairs. Jaise I told you that there is something called inflation, which is core area. So one should understand how to measure inflation. Abhi pata what has government said this time? So in the budget and the economic survey, the government has raised a debate and said, let's change the definition of inflation. They are changing inflation ke definition ko hi change kar do. Let's change it completely, because the current definition of inflation doesn't suit us. Wow. Very nice. So Government of India is constantly telling that we should bring some important changes, which becomes the application part. That what happened in the core concept, which is a problem for India. Why is India not liking it? What happened? What is so wrong? Why doesn't it suit us? So that becomes your application. So whenever you study a core concept, immediately it has to be followed with what is happening in real life, which means the moment I teach you what is the meaning of inflation, you will see that we will open this document, which is economic survey and budget, and I'll keep telling you which page we are studying, which section we are studying. See the open karke, we will connect it with here. That okay, government is saying inflation is not good, and the measurement formula which the world is using is also not good. So government is saying, chalo beta, let's change, and it is mentioned here. We will open the page and start doing it. So this type of analysis has to be done in the class. Now next part is economic survey budget has to be integrated. Example. Aapko pata hai, you have a handout, no? You don't have the handout. So can we arrange the handout? Because there is a printout of the handout. So please distribute it to everyone. So to my online students, I posted the handout yesterday evening itself. If you check, you will find it under the section courses. So you see, you have the access to portal, Vajiram portal. So what I do is normally, unless something technically goes wrong, yes, your friend is having the printout. I post the handout before the lecture itself, so that you can take a printout to my online students, so that you can take a printout if you believe in hard copies. To you guys, if you come in the class, yeah, if you come in the class, you will get it. Main dikhata hu what is the handout. So that's. Let me check if I have a copy. Okay, I don't think there is some problem in the file. So how to access the PDF from the course? It's not showing. You can check, you'll find, because your friends have already downloaded it. So you please check it. If you are not able to do, our technical team will help you. In normal PDF? Normal feed. So guys, your friend is saying that the PDF has been uploaded in the normal feed. So you just need to scroll, check. Your online friend is saying the same thing. Normal feed, no, where the notifications are there, etc. You can check. देखो this ऐसा ही है ना कुछ, the page of the handout looks something like this. It is taken from that only. So your handout looks exactly like this, और नीचे the name of the topic will be mentioned and there is a picture which is also there in the handout. So let the handout come, I'll show you. The picture that I have given in the handout is of artificial intelligence, deliberately, because that's the theme of the first lecture that we are going to have. So देखो, artificial intelligence is a hardcore science topic. But don't you feel that whatever happens in sciences impacts the other realms of life? So for example, if artificial intelligence comes, don't you think that it is also going to impact the job market? Yes, it does. So that is why when we do the first topic, which is industries, let me show you the handout itself. देखिए उसके अंदर. And you can give it to everyone. Thank you. So that's your handout, guys. I'll get another PDF for you when we start learning the topic. Abhi to I think the file got corrupted, but this is the PDF which is there available for you online and offline as well. You see, if you look at the cover picture, you can see there is artificial intelligence, AI. Why AI? Because I'm going to teach you the first topic, which is industries, and you understand that there is something revolutionary which is happening in the field of industries. What is happening? Automation and artificial intelligence. Machines are replacing people in the industries. So on one hand, the government of India is saying, let us have more industries. Through industries, let us create jobs. On the other hand, government of India is promoting AI. How can you create jobs when you are promoting AI? This is the biggest debate of the century which is happening these days. One cannot prepare industries without preparing AI. It is not possible. So what am I doing this time? This time, let me show you this. This time I have decided that whatever be the new themes that I feel can be very important for next UPSC, I'll call it as new topics. So last year also I took economics module, but this time when I created the handouts, etc., and the topics that I have decided, there will be almost a 30% change compared to last time. So that is my assessment, because last time, for example, in industries, I would have taught basic things like what are the industrial policies government of India is doing, impact of industries on economy, etc. That's it. This time, 2-3 more topics will be added. For example, a topic on artificial intelligence and its impact on industrialization. Artificial intelligence and its impact on employment and unemployment. Artificial intelligence and its impact on GDP. And what is government of India doing so that artificial intelligence can be integrated in the Indian economy and society? That part I am going to integrate. Second part. So normally what happens is there is a big question in the mind when you prepare for UPSC: data. Data ka kya kare? There is so much of data. So I have decided that I'll give you one dedicated lecture wherever possible just on data. So for example, when we do this entire industry, uske dekhoge towards the end, I'll give you a small session where I will tell you that, okay, this is how you should handle data related to this part. And for that, you need to have this type of small diary. I just got it so that I can show you. It's a small notebook. I call it as data book. So you please have something like this, which is handy, you can hold, because in the class, when I teach you the data part separately, so for a particular topic, let's say for industry, I'll tell you, okay, open your data book. The moment you open it, I'll tell you that keep writing some data, which is very important. So first page, you please name it as industry. I'll show you how to go about it. So first page, you name the page. Second page, you start writing the data in the classes itself. So today we are doing industry. I'll tell you 5 data related to industry. You write it here. Next lecture, 2 data, you write it here. So let's say that I teach you industries for next 3-4 lectures. Every lecture you open this data book and keep writing the data. Now, at the end of the 3-4 lectures, when industries are done, artificial intelligence done, everything done, your data book is ready for industries. So that in the prelims, they will ask you question from here. In the mains, whenever you write answer, you will have to take the data from here itself. In the interview, this is your data book. What will change in the data book next year? Nothing will change. Today, the contribution of industries is, let's say, 30%. Next year, it might become 32%. Big deal. If you know 30%, you will know 32% also next year, because you will develop the capability. So that is what we will do here. If the unemployment rate of India currently is 7.5%, next year it won't become 75%. Or 7.5, either it will become 9.5 or it will become 6.5. But if you know 7.5, you will know something around 10. That's it. That's why data book is very, very important. This data book should become your best friend. And don't start writing the phone number of people in this data book. Huh? More than data, phone numbers and names. Don't do all this. Right. So that's the meaning of new topic, because I believe that one should evolve with time. So this will be the best part of learning economics. Now come to agriculture. ये देखो, this is agriculture, but within agriculture, what will I teach you? I'll teach you this. So I will teach you everything in agriculture which is related to economics, like public distribution system, Food Corporation of India, subsidies of agriculture, all those things. So everything where economics is there, I'll teach you that. एक ही extra cheese where economics directly is not there, but we will study that. That is land reforms. And I believe that without economics, one cannot study land reform. So I have decided to deal with land reform in a very exhaustive manner because these days surveys are also happening. So we have to connect digital India with land reforms. Digital India with agriculture. These things we will do in the class. And I told you that this new topic ke andar, these things are covered. Artificial intelligence, digital India, agriculture, etc. This I am trying to do. Food processing industry. This also we will do as a part of agriculture. So this is my plan for agriculture. So whatever is related to economics in agriculture, 100% I give you guarantee we are going to do that. What are we not going to do in agriculture? Things which are related to geography. For example, what is the method of production of rice? What temperature, what rainfall, etc., etc. Cropping pattern. That's not economics. And frankly speaking, I shouldn't be doing it because that's not my specialization. Yes, I can teach you that because being an economist, you study these things also. But then I don't think I would be the right person to handle those things. And one should leave it to specialists who are good in geography. So there you should study. So I don't want to spoil your concepts by bringing rice in the class and having a discussion of half an hour, what temperature is good for. Come on, let's not do it. So what are we going to do in the class? Once rice is ready, how to market it? Once rice is ready, how to take it through public distribution system. These are the things we'll do in the class. All right, so that's your agriculture part. Answer writing. That's my favorite, absolute favorite. So, first of all, what will happen is, kal se hi aap dekhoge, I mean from the next class, that first I'll tell you in a few classes how to write answers in a generic manner. Like how to write answers for GS 1, 2, 3, 4 in generic, very general framework. I've got some framework today, dikhaunga abhi. And then I will tell you over a period of time how to write specific answers for GS paper 3. But it always has to start with the generic, then it can go to specific. It can never start with specific. And answer writing can frankly never be learned for GS 3. Answer writing has to be learned for all the papers. You can apply it for GS paper 3. So that is what we will do in the class. Iske upar a lot of emphasis will be there in the class. How do I teach answer writing in the class? Uska sample is there. So that's your sample. See. Because I seriously love doing this. So that's why I bring it in the class. So for example, let's say that I'm showing you some questions. Abhi karte hain. Let's read one question. So for example, see this please. So I have got last year's paper of UPSC GS paper 3 mains. Abhi to this year paper has just started. So God willing, in this year's paper also we'll get a lot of questions from what we did last time. I'm just waiting and very excited for that. Because last year it happened. So when the paper happened and when we matched the class lectures, we saw, wow, we can easily do those questions. This year, super excited to check what we did last year, whether it comes in the exam or not. So I'll let you know honestly. I won't bluff in that because the proof is already out. Notes are there, you can match. So let's see, this is last year's GS paper 3. Uske andar what was asked? 2-3 questions I'm going to deal and then I'm going to tell you how to write answer and how to learn the framework of answer writing. Question says, faster, देखो first question, GS paper 3 first question last year 2023. It says faster economic growth requires increased share of manufacturing sector in GDP, particularly MSMEs. Comment on the present policies of the government of India. 150 words, 10 marks. क्या पूछ रहे हैं? What are they asking in this question? They are asking that if you promote manufacturing and promote manufacturing how? Through small industries. If you select small industries and if you promote manufacturing through that, for example, somebody gives us this pen, small industry. And remember the name I told you, small industries, MSME, the definition. Who gave the definition of small industries in India, MSMEs in India recently? Dr. Prabhat Kumar, the picture which I showed you. So, Dr. Prabhat Kumar said this to Government of India. Niti Aayog also said this, that if you promote MSMEs and manufacturing in India, then GDP will rise very fast. This is the statement. Now, UPSC simply mentioned the statement and put a full stop. That's it. Ye dekh lo. UPSC had just mentioned the statement and put a full stop. Faster economic growth requires increased share of manufacturing in GDP, particularly MSMEs, full stop. Done. They are not saying explain. Why? These type of statements are called as ghost questions, which means it doesn't look that they are asking a question. It looks it's a statement, yeah? It's not a statement. So for example, if you type big messages to somebody and the other party sends you, okay. What does that mean? It's a statement. But there is a big message inside that. What is the message? Don't text me again. Or if you send big messages to somebody, like essay type messages, you practice essay through SMS also hota hai. So when you send big messages to somebody and the other party sends you, right? It's a normal thing. But no, it's not normal. There is a big message hidden inside that. What is the message? Stop texting me and focus on your UPSC. So what is UPSC doing? UPSC just mentioned a statement. This is not a statement. This is a question which you have to justify. Even if the statement ends with a full stop, nothing is asked after this. Statement says, that's it. That's a ghost question. And what is the second part? Second part says, comment on the present policies of the government in this regard. That's the second question. So there are two questions. First is the first statement you have to justify, and second part is the policies that you will have to write. So there are two questions here inside it. So see this, guys. So this is the first statement, this is the second. Two questions have to be written. How many lectures we are going to devote in these two parts? 2 lectures. Roughly 5 to 5.5 hours of teaching has to be written. Dikhata hu the funny thing about UPSC, 5 hours of learning in the class, because this will be our first lecture, I'll teach you this only. 5 hours, 2 sides. That's it. So 10 marks means 150 words. 150 words means 75 to 80 words here, 75 to 80 words here. And what do you have to write in that question? Introduction, body, first body, remember ghost question, and the second body, policies, and then diagram and conclusion. For all this, you will have roughly 3 minutes here, 3 minutes here. 1 minute goes in reading the question, 1 or 2 minutes in understanding the question. In 3 minutes, you have to fill this 3 minutes. And how many words can you write? Roughly around 75 to 80 words. In one line, how many words do you write? In one line, roughly 8 to 9 words. Which means how many lines can you write in this page? 10 lines, 10 sentences, and 10 sentences here. In 20 sentences, you will have to convert your 5.5 hours lecture into an answer. 20 sentences. So do you really believe that lack of knowledge will be a problem at the end of the lecture? Around 3.5, 4 months, lack of knowledge will be a problem? Never. Plenty of knowledge will be the problem. You will know at least 35 points, and from that 35 points, you will have to select 5. There comes the training that we are going to have in the class, that out of 35 points, which 5 points to write in the answer. Yahi to hai, this is the real trick. Everybody knows those 35 points. Kaun sa 5 you have to write? Why? Because when the examiner evaluates your answer, they have one answer sheet in front of them, which is called as a standard answer sheet, because they have to evaluate everybody using same standards. That's the process of competitive exams. So if your answer matches with this answer, most of the points are matching, you will get good marks. Suppose you are writing 1 or 2 extra also, no problem. But they will try to match and say that if your answer is matching more, they will give you higher marks. That is why, despite the fact that you write good answers, you don't get marks in the exam, because your answer and points are not matching with them. Now, about word limit, etc., I'll tell you later on. Abhi I'm just telling you that this is the thing that you'll have to do. So you study 2 lectures and you write 2 pages. That's it. Now, so I'm asking you this question. What kind of handout do you want? 100-page handout for industries? 100-page handout for industries? No. We want it to be crisp along with the class handout, so that before the exam, it is doable. Because before the exam, if you have this 100-page handout for industries and somebody will claim, isme se to you will get question. 100% you will get question. If I make a handout like this, if I give you notes like this, I guarantee there will be question from here. Who will say there won't be a question? But who is a real wise person? If you want to become wise, you have to create notes like this. Isme se you should get question, not from this. Because anybody can create it. What is the meaning of 2000-page notes in economics? That's useless, I think, wastage of life. So your notes should be something like this. And from here you should be getting question. Then we will understand that, okay, you have done a smart study. So we are going to have crispier handouts, okay, so that we can answer these type of questions. And don't you believe that these things should be practiced in the class? This has to be practiced in the class. So kaise karenge practice? I'll tell you. Dhyan se suniye, because this will start from your next lecture. So I will teach you a theory in the class. For example, I'll teach you what is the importance of manufacturing. You will have one white sheet like this. So let's say you are having a sheet, a blank sheet, and then I will give you a question, and then I will tell you, after looking at the time, online and offline, I will give you 1 minute to write introduction. The moment 1 minute is over, you will have to stop in the class. And then we will see what introduction you have written. Then I will give you 2 minutes to write this, because remember 3 minutes for this page, 1 minute introduction, 2 minutes for this body, and we stop. Again 2 minutes for this body and diagram, again stop. Again 1 minute for conclusion, stop. This is how we are going to practice. Because if we don't time it like this, 1 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute, 2 minute, then what mistake will happen? I'll keep sharing the things which I have also learned over a period of time by looking at my students, that what mistakes they are making. So recently concluded mains batch, etc., etc. I was observing a lot of students who were in my mains batch, who are writing mains from today, that what is the mistake they made, and that is the reason they could not be selected in last 3 attempts, despite reaching interviews. One of the biggest reason was they were putting their heart and soul into this part. 6-7 minutes they were spending here, yahan aate aate they used to complete the answer and say done, because time up. So this used to be the problem. So then I devised this new method that okay, this has to be based on certain amount of time, 1 minute, 2 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute, something like this. So this we will do. Acha, second thing, while answer writing in the class, you will open your data book. So when I give you a question in the class, you will have these 2 blank sheets in front of me. You will also do it online. Okay, do it very religiously, to my online students especially. So what do you need to do? Have your answer sheets, UPSC answer sheets. I will give you the question. I'll give you the time. You have the data book ready. Make reference to the data book and then write your answer. I'll keep telling you which data to pick. But I won't tell you which data to, how to use the data. I'll tell you pick this data, use it the way you want. And then when you do it, then I will train you that, okay, this is how you should have done. This is how you should not have done. So basically, I want it to be an interactive class. Okay? So this is how we are going to learn initially. Let's come back, guys. Now, in the handout, the first page of your handout will look something like this. Aisa. And this is where I want you to be careful. Ab dekho, if you open the first page of your handout, you'll find this. What is this? Syllabus. So with every handout, you'll find a syllabus. So this is the syllabus related to this topic which I am teaching. That becomes your syllabus. You will not cross this limit, please. Because if you cross this limit, remember I gave you 2 pictures and I told you that one is Dr. Iqbal Singh Dhaliwal and one is Dr. Geeta Gopinath. What is the difference between them? If you stay in the box, you become Dr. Iqbal Singh. If you go out of the box, you become Dr. Geeta Gopinath. So remember why you are preparing for this exam. So stay inside the box. Now after the box, you will see a lot of MCQs. ये आपको नजर आएगा. You will see these MCQs. This MCQ has to be done in the class. ये लिखा है ना self-practice. But this self-practice has to be done together. You and I together will do it. Through class understanding and learning. This is important, okay? Now, let's go to this part. ये देखो, current affairs. Which page is this? Page number 4 of your handout. You see, there is a map. Page 4. Please come to page 4. Can you see a map? Page number 4. What is this map and why is it so special? It is special for 1 or 2 reasons. Recently, Government of India made an announcement related to industrial smart city. Are you aware of this? It's current affairs. It happened after the budget. In the budget, government said we will do this. But after the budget, actually government announced this. In August only, around the end of August, the government announced this. And government said, chalo, we are going to have this. So that's your map. Which means that in every handout, you will see that whenever we are going to have the lecture, almost till 1 or 2 days back, whatever is the current affairs, you will see that in your handout. This is how we created the handout. Abhi dekho, if you are preparing for UPSC, ab dekho, a shocker. I'm going to give you a shocking thing. If you prepare this type of map only, useless for UPSC. UPSC will never ask you this. Usko pata hai that you will prepare this. UPSC will ask you this box. This box is the summary of this map. So I can show you which box am I talking about. So for example, you open page number 3. Page number 3, you can see a box. In that box, it is written industrial smart cities. There is a box, industrial smart city. Can you see that? This entire map has been converted into this box. This box is your UPSC box for prelims and mains. That's it. Anybody who prepares the box, I can show you the points which will be asked in the exam. Dekho, in the box, point number 2nd, prelims point, data book. Why do we want smart cities? Because we want that India should achieve an export of $2 trillion by 2030. That's your prelims point. And in your mains answer writing, you have to code this data. Similarly, you have other box. देखो एक और, I'll show you one more. Point number 7. How many jobs are we trying to create through this industrial smart cities? 1 million direct job and up to 3 million indirect, which means roughly around 4 million jobs we want to create. Prelims question. And let me show you the conceptual part, which I derived from this map. Point number 5. Let's read point number 5. Point number 5 says that industrial smart cities are based on the concept of plug and play and walk to work concept. So UPSC can ask you, which of the following concepts are being followed in the smart cities model? And then they will mention 4 concepts, or they can tell you, what do you mean by plug and play? And they will make 4 statements. So this is how you need to prepare these maps. This is how actually current affairs is prepared. This is current affairs. This is not static. This is how you actually need to prepare. So don't worry, I assure you that whatever is the current affairs which is relevant from UPSC perspective, I assure you and give you my promise, we will do it in the class. You do not need to refer to any textbook, anything, or any magazine or newspaper to do it. I mean, newspapers don't tell you these things. Newspapers will give you this picture and generic ideas. Newspapers are not written for UPSC. We have to convert it into UPSC kind of material. So this is your UPSC, this box. Okay? So that is what I feel that we should be doing in the class. And this year, again, one more new thing we are doing. First of all, in every handout, last page, you will see these kind of flowcharts. This flowchart you have to use in your answer writing. You directly take this flowchart. Dekho, second last page. You directly take this flowchart and put it here. In the diagram section of your answer writing, you directly take this flowcharts and put it here. देने की क्या जरूरत थी? What was the need for me to give this kind of flowcharts in the class? Is it called as spoon feeding? No, that's not spoon feeding. I'll tell you why. Unless I train you initially for 1.5 months about how to make flowcharts like this, how will you know what to write, what not to write? What is the special thing that you notice about these flowcharts that I created? They're not messy. They're very clean. We are not overstuffing information. This part we have to learn in the class. Ab dekho ye second. See how clean this is? You have to use this kind of flowchart for your answer writing. So that's why I felt that we should train you in this first. Acha, once the training happens, like look at this one. This is called production linked incentive scheme. Once we train you in this, uske baad we'll start the real part. See the real part? This we will do in the class with your help. I have created these bubbles, these kind of flowcharts. So when I teach you a theory, we will open the last page of the handout. This you will have to fill in front of me. And suppose that you tell me that, no sir, we don't want to create the flowchart like this. We want to create a diagram, something like this. I say, yahan pe see, there is something in between, then there are 4 points. You will tell me, no, I want to do it like this. I want to write the main point here, and then I want to create a flowchart, something like this. Yes, you can do that. That's totally up to your creativity. But in the class, you have to fill this. Kya karenge? Suppose I teach you a theory. Immediately we'll take a small pause, 5 minutes, and I'll tell you, chaliye, fill it. Let's fill it. And then we'll solve MCQs based on this, and we will also try to see where to use it in mains answer writing. This is how you prepare for this exam. If you keep on studying theories, that day will never come that you should be able to learn how to use the theory in the exam. Oh, that has to be done in the class itself. So that is why thoda class activities that we do in the class will be almost, let's say, 5 to 6 different things per lecture. So for example, prelims part, mains part, diagram part, MCQ part, answer writing part, discussion part, example part, current affairs, budget and survey. There are these things that we have to integrate. You'll get used to it, don't worry. So this is what I wanted to show. Ek aur cheez dikhata hu. This will keep you very happy and it will also give you a lot of confidence. See this please. This is the question that I saw last year in UPSC mains GS paper 3. UPSC, and I noticed something. In last 5 years, same trend. Kuch dikhata hu aapko. See, the first question that you saw, it had static part as well as policy, matlab current affairs, static plus dynamic. Second part, totally scheme. What is it saying? What is the status of digitization in Indian economy? So they are asking, has Indian economy become digital? What is the status? Status means you have to write the scheme, numbers and facts. So highly factual question. Again, current affairs. Let's read question number 4, 5, 6, 7. It is said that how do we measure unemployment in India? Static. Then it is saying that what is the problem in measuring unemployment? Dynamic. Because it is based on the report, newspapers. Now next part says, what do you mean by, let's say, care economy? Dynamic, current affairs. So if you look at all these questions, I could simply see that the questions in GS paper 3 are something like this. static plus current affairs. So in every question, there is either two parts or there are three parts. One part is always static, one part is current affairs, or two parts are current affairs. So in one question, they will ask you 1, 2, 3 parts, or they will ask you 2 parts. Every question either 2 parts or 3 parts. First part guaranteed static. Second part, third part current affairs, or second part current affairs. This is how they are framing the question. So one cannot ignore static, one cannot ignore current. You have to be trained in both. I will tell you the worst way of asking question. One of the worst way that UPSC uses is, they will ask you economics question and uske pehle they will attach the polity part. And then they will tell you that, tell us according to constitution, what is the provision related to, poverty alleviation, etc., etc. And they will ask this in GS paper 3. Dangerous. So for that, what we need to do in the class, you will see me devoting a few lectures related to the polity aspects which has to be used in economics. That we will do in the class, just to train ourselves, because we don't want any surprises in the exam. We want it to be smooth. So that's your basic thing. GS paper 3 UPSC mains. एक बार ये देख लीजिए. How many questions are asked in GS paper 3 UPSC mains? Economy, roughly 6 questions. This is an average of last like 6-7 years. So economy 6 questions, agriculture 3 questions. Now 6 plus 3, 9. Okay, sometimes what happens is, so from internal security, instead of 4 questions, they will ask 3 and 1 question is given to agriculture. This is how they change. So which means that 6 plus 4 will be roughly around 10. In this 10 question, there will be only 1 question which is hardcore agriculture geography. So if you remove that, then it becomes roughly 9 questions. So in this class, through this module, we are going to learn how to handle those 9 questions out of 20. Because that 1 question will be hardcore geography. And it is compulsory they will ask this question. So I have removed that question. And they might ask 1 geography question, ठीक है उसको बाहर करते हैं, but 3 economics question will be there, like MSP, minimum support price, etc. That will do. Remaining part is this: internal security, disaster management, environment, and science and technology. So from science, they ask 3 questions. All of them are current affairs. So what is this yellow part? Current affairs. So 3 questions, 3 out of 3 current affairs. Environment, 3 questions, 3 out of 3 current affairs. Disaster management is sometimes 1, sometimes 2. Depends. Internal security, they ask roughly, let's say 4 questions. Out of that, 3 will be current affairs. Sometimes they ask 3 also. Economics, they will ask you 6 questions, hardcore economics, without any agriculture, hardcore. Out of this, 4 will be current affairs. But I told you, in current affairs also, static plus current. This is how the question format is. Now, there are few things which I want to mention here. Achha, I didn't tell you my name. So, because most of you know me, and that's why I asked you initially. So, I am Jayant Parikshit, and this is the place where I learned my economics, my master's and PhD. And I told you, briefly, I remember I told you that after this, I went to this place. So I have spent almost like good part of my life here, and I have spent almost 2 years of my life here. So this place actually shaped up whatever little economics I know. And these 2 places created a lot of curiosity in the mind related to the subject called as economics, corporate governance, etc., etc. So, and that is why I decided that I'll stay in academics, because I told you it's very addictive. Once you learn this subject from some of the particular places of India, it becomes addiction, and then you are never able to come out of it, and then you enjoy doing that. So because that's something which I love doing. So I was very excited to begin this batch, and I was very excited to meet you guys. I've been waiting for this opportunity. I'll tell you one reason for it, because this is a course where all the topics is taught by me. So what I can do is I can easily tell you that, okay, I have the freedom to bring, let's say, some parts of polity, some parts of governance in my economics lecture. Why? Because this course has been designed by me. So when I get absolute freedom to design something for you guys, there can be nothing better than this, because I know that I'll be able to deliver what I feel like is important for this exam. So the freedom that I get in this course, thanks to Wajiram, they have given me that liberty. So I was telling them that, I want to design something for the students who feel a lot of problem in economics. And I got a very positive response. And that is what makes me happy, because I can teach it the way I want. There is one more course where I am doing the same thing, where I have got absolute freedom from Wajiram to do that. And that course is called as Current Affairs. So a lot of you see me in current affairs as well. So I have full freedom to teach current affairs also. The best part of you guys, because you are in economics. Economics is, I told you, the love of my life. So in economics, because I have not been able to come out of economics since decades now. So since you are here with me in economics module, so obviously whatever I do in current affairs and I feel is important, automatically it will come here as well. Because I cannot do this, that if something is important in current affairs, I will leave it in the economics class. It is not possible. Like you saw the industrial smart city wala part. So that's why please do not worry about current affairs. Please do not worry about economics. I'm there with you in your journey. Till the time at least you qualify interview and go to Labasna, you will find me there around you hanging by your neck. Around you helping you out. Right? So this is the absolute basic. Ab bataiye, if you have anything to ask, then I will tell you do teen idhar udhar ki cheezein, and then we'll start a few topics today itself. Anything that you want a clarification for. So one of your friend is saying that I have a question about smart classes. Ab bataiye, Pankaj, tell me. I would like to know if economics module will be wholly meant towards attempting UPSC 25. No. Since there is something interesting which has happened. Oh, where is that bulky book? Yeah. So guys, good question. It will help many of you. This is economic survey of this year. And this is not a full year economic survey. This is only for 3-4 months that the government has written this. Economic survey is never like this. This time it's amazingly bulky. Why? I'll tell you the reason. The reason is that this year, when the government contested the election, they said, we have been in power since almost a decade. Now, whenever you are in power since almost a decade, now then you know that you have to reinvent yourself. Because if you keep repeating the policies, people will get bored. And there will be one factor which works against you, which is called as anti-incumbency factor. And people vote you out because people will say that you are not bringing anything new. What did the government do? The government this year has introduced almost so many schemes with no details. And the government of India has said that we are going to do this research fund, this infrastructure new scheme, etc., etc. And over time, government says we will tell you the details. So every scheme which is mentioned in this, which we are going to teach in the class, is valid for next 5 to 6 years. Next year, what will happen? Only some details of the scheme will change. But the launch has already happened because government is trying to project that we are bringing something new on the table, which means that if you are doing this batch, you have already joined the course. So if you are doing this batch, it remains valid for next 3, 4, 5 years. So even if, I don't know, because last year it happened, many of the students online were doing their graduation first year. And I remember this happened last year also. They asked me that, will the lecture be valid for a few years? Of course, yes. Because how can the definition of repo, reverse repo change? How can the model government is using to reduce poverty will change all of a sudden? It doesn't change all of a sudden. And plus this year is special because we got all the new schemes. So for example, Indian smart cities, the industrial smart city, how will it change next year? So of course it will be valid. You please relax. So would you be taking all the classes of the smart current affairs? Not all, but yes, there will be other faculties in the smart current affairs as well. So for example, for science tech, social issues, IR, there will be different faculties. So there is a topic called inclusive growth. What do you mean by issues? Manu, don't worry that one or two things. So welcome to my flight. You are in a plane. I'm your pilot. You have already boarded the flight. Now when you board a flight, do you ask the pilot that will you drive safely? Will you fly safely? There is no point. You are in the plane already. Welcome aboard, guys. I mean, there is no point asking that pilot, do you hold the license? If I'm from SpiceJet, I might not hold the license. Right? So if I'm from Indigo, I might lock you up in the washroom. If I'm Air India, seat might not work. So if I'm from Akasha Airlines, the window might fall off in the mid-flight. But I'm your pilot. So for example, when you go to a dentist takes out a big surgical instrument, like hammer and drill machine inside your mouth. Will you ask, doctor, first tell me, are you going to do good with my teeth? What is the point? You are already there. So guys, now there is only one thing that you can do. You have to trust. You have to trust me and you have to have full faith that whatever we are going to do is UPSC centric. With this faith only you can do well. And one thing you should avoid after the class, please don't go and check 20 textbooks and 5 portals. Even if you do it, you will find the same answer that we are doing in the class with some changes. Reason being, मैं बताता हूँ. जैसे, where is that? ये देखो. Let me tell you some horrendous things. And then we'll talk about some of the questions your friends are asking. ये देखिए इसको ध्यान से. What is mentioned here? In the economic survey, it is mentioned that the government of India has allocated roughly 1.97 lakh crore rupees for a scheme called as Production Linked Incentive Scheme. It is mentioned this year's economic survey. Go and check PIB. It says 1.97 lakh crores. Please go and check the budget 2022. Already the government of India has increased the amount to 2 lakh crores. So on some of the portals, the government is mentioning 2 lakh crores. In the budget, government says 1.97 lakh crores. And then there is a small notice clarification brought by the government of India a few days back saying, sorry, we wrote a wrong figure in the budget and economic survey. It should have been 2 lakh crores. Wow. Who reads that? Sorry. So if you, for example, in the class, I'll teach you 2 lakh crore. You'll read PIB. You'll read 20 sources and say, wrong. How can 2 lakh crore be there because it's 1.9? So come on. So what happens is because you have limited time to study a particular subject, so you are not able to go to that depth. That's the only reason. If you had time, you would also be doing the same thing. You can easily find out the mistakes. Similarly, there is a program by Government of India called as Pradhan Mantri Employment Guarantee Scheme. That is for MSMEs. In the budget and the current economic survey, the amount that is mentioned there is roughly 25 lakh rupees. That if you are starting a business of 25 lakh, government will help you. But it was already changed 2 years back and it has already become 50 lakhs. But the budget says 25 lakhs and then there is a notification by government clarificatory note saying, sorry, it is already 50 lakhs. Abhi, who is reading that? Sorry, nobody. So one has to be very careful. So if you go and check these things from 20 other sources, wastage of time. Use that time to study other subjects, please. And you need to have full faith in the class. One of your friends is asking, I have enrolled, do I need to attend Smart Current Affairs? Current Affairs is different because Current Affairs is not just about economics, it is about other subjects also. But economics Current Affairs, I'll take care in the class. So whatever economics Current Affairs is required, so in your module, I'll cover it. So yellow books are also provided in economics module course. No, so my book is different. It will not be a book, it will be these handouts. Why? Because I realized that if I provide you the entire book today itself, what if there are some changes? I won't be able to integrate it. So that's why it will be handout by handout, one by one you will get this as and when we do. I'll update it just one night before the class so that if any change is there, it will be captured. And at the end, when you compile this, you'll get a nice 200 pages or 150 pages as a kuch. It will be like a book only. So you will have a book ready in your hand. You don't need to study anything other than that. Now, anything extra that you need to refer to, absolutely nothing. And if you study anything extra, it will hurt me. It's like going out on a date with somebody on a coffee date and saying that, can I date 5 more people after this date? I mean, come on. If you go to a doctor and tell the doctor that I have come here for the treatment, but doctor, you know what I'm going to do after this? I'm going to check 5 more doctors and verify if you have given me the right treatment. Wow, don't do all this, right? Class schedule Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as of now. So either it will be 3 days a week or 4 days a week, depending on the topic. Suppose I'm teaching a topic which requires continuity and I know that I can complete it in 4 lectures, then I'll call you 4 days in that week. If I feel that in that week, the topic which I'm teaching like land reform is a small topic, so then you don't need to come 4 days, that week only 3 days, depending on the topic. How many months are we going to spend together till the time you appear in interview? Right? At least, because uske baad to you will not have time to talk to anybody because the government will grill you. But how many months are we going to have the session? Around 4 months. What is around 4 months? Why not precise? Because this is economics. There are a lot of dynamic things which might develop during the course. And if I feel that something drastically new has happened and it should be done in the class, obviously that lecture will be included in your course. So that is why I always mention that it will be around 4 months. Suppose I have planned to teach you a particular topic and government removes it. Government says, no, this scheme is gone, that is gone. Obviously your lectures will come down, but something new comes, your lecture will go up. So that liberty I have got, which I'm going to utilize. So around 4 months. So 3 times or 4 times a week. But initially I'm going to teach you the topics which will be roughly around 4 days a week. It will start from Monday. Do you need to read newspaper? Yes, every day you should read at least 1 article from the newspaper related to economics and 1 article from IR. At least you should definitely do it. But do you need to make notes out of newspaper since you are already in my program? Definitely not. Never. Never. Now, it is saying that without attending, so one of our friend is saying that, no problem, very nice. See, that's what I like about you guys. Amazing. You have got an amazing upbringing. So tell your parents that your faculty is proud of you. So your friend has just mentioned in the message that without disrespecting anybody, sir, I have not been able to understand some portions of economics in my previous classes. See, that makes me your fan. So, because one should always have that respect, even for those people who could not help us the way we wanted, because that basic respect and courtesy should be there in life. So, good. So, I'll tell you the answer that you have asked. So, he's asking that, can you skip, all types of classes and lectures of economics now that you are in the module? I take a guarantee that you can. I am not knowing which classes you would skip and which classes. I won't even ask you the details, because that's not a good thing professionally. Everybody has their strength. But I feel that if you are in my course, you do not need to attend any course, any classes anywhere else. I can promise you on that. Class days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It will be after today. So from Monday, your class will start. So today I'll teach you a few things. But from Monday, your solid lectures will start. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days fixed. Every week fixed. No change. Now, after almost, let's say, around 2 months, when 2 months are about to be over, there will be a week. बहुत ध्यान से सुनिए बच्चों. There will be a week. So in that week, I won't call you for 3 classes or 4 classes. That week will be an off for you, only because, and I will decide which week, only because I want to take a midway test. So for example, in the initial, let's say 1.5 to 2 months, I will try to give you all the technical part of the economics in the first 1.5 to 2 months only. Because I know if I teach the technical part later on, how will you understand newspaper? All the technical part which I feel is helpful for newspaper, I'll teach you in the first half. The moment you do that, then I'll give you a small break. And the moment you come out of, small break would mean 3-4 lectures. The moment you come out of that break, 1 week of revision, your test will be there. And I would like to see what is your progress. Because if I feel that you are not doing well in 1 or 2 portions out of it, I'll help you again in that. Because I need that time to make assessment. And if I feel you are lacking, again I'll help you out. If I feel everything is okay, why will I trouble you? Then we'll march ahead. So that will happen in the middle of the course, somewhere in November, whenever I feel the time is right, when I have taught all the technical parts that I have decided. That's one. Second, this will make you very happy, because I have designed 2 extra things for your module, and it worked last time. It will work this time also. On a few topics, and trust me, it works, because being not from economics background and getting into economics, this is how I learned the subject. So in a few topics, I'll give you a video first. You will watch the video, and then you come in the class, and then I will teach you that topic. So those topics you will learn twice, once through videos and one in the classroom. So for example, let's say, I'll give an example. Let's say that there is a topic called as non-performing assets. So I'll give you a recorded video, you watch the video, and next day I'll teach that topic in the class. So you do that topic twice. And then in the class we will solve MCQs, answer writing. So which means that I don't want you to watch videos. I want you to watch that topic and learn that topic twice. Because there are few topics which requires double efforts. So only classroom will not help. So if you come by looking at the video and then attend my class, unbelievable productivity. It just amplifies your productivity from here to here. You will become a pro in these topics. So that I will do for you. The second part, from this month, I make some videos for my Wajiram GS students, because I teach the GS program as well. So exactly around the time when I start my module, I start to make some specific, unique current affairs kind of videos only for my GS students. So whenever I feel that a particular topic is unique from UPSC perspective and I have decided to make a video for my GS student, some of those videos which I feel is very much applicable for you also, I will bring the video and give you the access. So that I have decided. I did it last year as well. So I will teach you some lectures which I have decided for the module. In addition to that, if I make anything which is very unique in its appeal, like this Dr. N.K. Singh, he is trying to recommend some changes in G20, etc. I found it to be very unique. So I'll make a small video. I have decided that these kind of things, I'm going to make a small video, which might not be directly related to anything, but important, maybe interview, maybe mains. So I'll make the video for my GS students. I'll start this, I think, in 1 week. So that video access, I will ask Wajiram to provide to you also. So some selected videos you are going to get from me, and remaining part in the class itself. But those videos will be different. It will not be hardcore academy. It will be like normal things that you are studying and learning for your interview, personality development, etc. Okay? So because you are also a part of Wajiram now, so whatever I do for my GS students, personally speaking, whatever I do, that should also reach you. So that will happen. email ID or WhatsApp. So what you can do is, I can give you one thing. If you face any technical issues related to your course, then you please send your email here. For example, you are not able to access handout, you are not able to have access to videos, etc. Kuch bhi issues, then you please mail the Vajiram IT team, they will help you. And if you don't get a response, maybe because let's say there are too many mails or they are not able to respond in time, then you please mail me. Because then I will immediately tell the team to reach out to you. So that's the contact of Vajiram team. So they will try their best to help you out. But if they miss out or you are not able to get the response on time, then फिर मुझे बताना. I will immediately contact them and ask them to help you out. That is what we will do. Other than that, abhi to I have not decided to create anything. Abhi first we'll start the lecture and we'll study, and then we will see as and when we progress. Yeah, ठीक है, is it fine? So please take those advices which I have given you seriously. No textbook from today, no notes from any other institute or any place. I don't have any problem with anybody, but why to go to two doctors for the same problem? Right? And why you can't board two flights? एक बार बैठ के flight में just give it all you have. So that's the thing. So let us start the lecture. Like in between, if you face any issues, you let me know. So guys, this is your lecture part. अच्छा बताओ, question for you. And yes, one more thing. How do we conduct the lectures? So I have a habit which I follow in all the classes. If you are my GS student or current affairs student, you know it. So in the initial 2.5 hours, only I will speak and I will make you speak the way I want. And whatever doubts you have, I will entertain the doubt before I complete the lecture. And I always respect the doubts, because as a student, when I was learning economics in all these colleges, I used to have so many doubts. And luckily, my faculties used to solve everything. So since I have been taught very well by my faculties, so that system also came inside me, and I realized that no, that thing which I got should also go to my students. So if you face any problem, I'll give you your time. You ask whatever doubts you have. There is no issue at all. And there are few things which I will tell you that, jaise, I take the name of MSMEs today. But I won't be able to teach you MSMEs. I'll teach you MSMEs when the right time comes. So I can tell you that, okay, let's wait for 5 more lectures. Aisa kuch. So don't mind it. Don't feel that I won't teach. Oh, so I treated your GS class in all the topics. Okay, wonderful. Very nice, BD. So guys, you keep jotting down whatever doubts you have. And before the class ends, as promised, I'll clarify everything. Chaliye, let's start the lecture. So please write, please open your notebook, and from tomorrow, everybody should have this data book. Sabke paas hona chahiye. Tomorrow as in Monday. Everybody should have this, please. Definitely you should have it. Yes, KD, definitely. And the medium will be completely English. So that's what we are going to follow. Unless the name of the scheme is in Hindi, I can't do anything about that. But for example, Atmanirbhar Bharat is a Hindi word. But then the English version of that is self-reliant India. So whenever it comes, so we'll make sure that we make it bilingual. If it's Hindi name, we'll convert it into English. All the topics by me. Nobody else will be allowed here. Only one doctor and one pilot. Right? So industries. But yeah, one thing that happens. So for example, if one of my student or one of my friends who is an expert, suppose, placed in a particular government department, let's say I have some friends in the Ministry of Agriculture, somewhere in Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So if they have some time in between and if they have expertise in something, I might bring them for a half an hour, experience sharing with you guys. Not as a part of lecture. I won't disturb the class timing. This I will never do. I mean, this is a discipline we follow, but maybe just to say a hi and hello to you. So if I feel that my friends are around and I feel that they can be of help, they can tell you something related to interviews, maybe this can happen. But lectures will not be substituted by anybody else. That will be completely by me. So guys, tell me something. If you are looking at this topic called as industries, when you meet somebody for the first time, what do you do? What is the first sawal or question that you ask? First question that you ask from anybody? What's your name? That's what you ask. What's your name? So for example, I told you that, yes, name, or whatever. Who is saying? So Dharmesh is saying, no, sir, I asked for the phone number directly. Right? So guys, when you meet somebody for the first time, you ask them their introduction and their name. Similarly, when you study this topic called as industries, the first question that you will ask is, what are industries? And guess who asked this question? UPSC. What is the question asked by UPSC last year? That please match the following: primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. And there they mentioned, things like mining and quarrying, surveys, etc., etc. That's the first thing they did. UPSC asked this question in prelims. So we should know what is the meaning of the word industries. Similarly, as we keep on studying in a different lecture, we will understand what is the meaning of the word agriculture. We will also understand what is the meaning of the word primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. Today is the time to understand secondary sector. What is secondary sector? Which means what is industries. Ab see, look at the dilemma. I'll tell you something very funny about it. So guys, that's your industries. So please do one thing. Please write, guys. Please write. Define industries. Define industries for India. Define industries for India. Define industries for India. Define industries for India. Now, look at the funny part, what India did, and then I'll give you a dictation. So please note it down first. You note it down exactly like this, without changing anything. Just note it down. Then I'll explain. No, it cannot be daily. One of a friend asked, can we have daily answer writing practice? No, because there are some topics which are only meant for prelims. In those topics, we'll have MCQs. And there are topics which are meant for mains. For that, we'll have answer writing. So that ways. Some topics only MCQs because they are not meant for mains. So that ways. But yes, a lot of answer writing. Don't worry about it. Answer writing, I take full responsibility. I'll make you a pro in answer writing. Most welcome. Did you write it, guys? Wonderful. Now, so I'm going to tell you a small story. You please absorb the story and try to see how political economy works. Listen to it very carefully. India is a member of World Bank. India is a member of IMF. India is a member of WTO. Right? India is a member of all these multilateral institutions. What does India do? India normally goes to these institutions and tells them that, hey, can you give me some cash? Because I want to promote industries in my country. So for example, the industrial smart cities. Government of India is getting money from various global agencies for developing industrial smart cities. So India goes to these agencies like World Bank, India goes to Asian Development Bank, and India tells them, can you give us some loan or can you give us some grant so that we can use this money to promote industries in India? There is one thing. If somebody gives you something, the very word give or gift, it comes with a condition. They will definitely ask you after a point of time, what is that thing that you did with my money? Can you please show it to me? So when India takes a lot of cash from World Bank, IMF, Asian Development Bank, they have been asking questions to India that India, what did you do with my money? So what did India do? Now listen to this carefully. So imagine, bacho, that suppose this is the national income of India. I'll teach you national income topic separately. National income means the income of the country as a whole for today. So national income would be the income of India as a whole. So suppose that income of India as a whole, national income, let's say for today it's GDP. Let's say that national income of India is only 100 rupees. Out of 100 rupees, what is the contribution of industries in this? This is the question which World Bank has been asking India every year, that India tell us what is the contribution of industries because you have been taking so much money from us. So see what India did. Look at the game India played. So India told World Bank that World Bank, manufacturing means industries. Why? Because under manufacturing, what do? You convert the plastic into pen. That's manufacturing. You convert tomatoes into tomato ketchup. That's manufacturing. So India has been telling everybody, World Bank, IMF, etc., that the contribution of manufacturing in India's national income is 17.3 rupees or 17.3%, which means out of 100 rupees, what is the contribution of manufacturing? This much is the contribution. That has been told by India to everybody. So people are happy. Wow, very nice, India. What else? So India said that, production of electricity, gas, that LPG, water supply, etc. This is also a part of industries, and their contribution in India's national income is 2.4% or 2.4 rupees. These things are also called as public utilities. Public utilities. So what is the contribution of public utilities in our national income? Roughly 2.4%. Now let's do one thing. Let's add this. Let's add these two. So can you please tell me 17.3, 2.4. So out of 100 rupees national income, what is the contribution of these two? Let's add it, please, guys. Please respond. 19.7. Very nice. 19.7. This is the contribution. Now imagine you are the head of the World Bank and you have given so much money to India and you asked a question to India, what did you do with the money? What is the contribution of industries in your national income? Because we gave you money, World Bank gave us money to promote industries. And our answer is that World Bank, with your help, we have increased industries in such a way that their contribution in national income is roughly 19.7%. Is World Bank going to be happy or really very, very, very worried about India? Worried about India. So World Bank is saying, India, I gave you so much cash. This is what you have done. With my cash, you have promoted industries only to the extent that they're contributing just 19.7%. What did you do? So what did Government of India do last year? Last year in 2023, Government of India changed the definition of industries. Government said, hold on, if we give this answer, it's going to be national embarrassment. So what did government do? Government included construction, and government said that construction is normally considered to be service. They say construction services, but last year government changed the definition and said, nah, in India, construction is going to be included within industries. And you understand why. So what did, I'm not saying that it was manipulation. I'm saying it's called management. So what did Government of India do? Include construction within industries. Immediately this 19.7 gets, you add 9%. What does it become? 28.7%. Because the contribution of construction in national income is roughly 9%. So what did Government of India do? They managed. Don't use the word manipulation. Don't say manipulated. They managed. Right? Just like you learned these things in your management to manage these things. So Government of India managed, and they brought construction within industry and said, now you look at India. Even now it is not good. Despite your management, it is not good. Then what do? You manage little more. So what did you do? You said, Abhi, what do I bring? What do I bring? And you keep thinking, what to do, what to do. You cannot bring agriculture here. Agriculture is a different sector. You cannot bring agriculture. So there is only one thing left in primary. So in primary activities, you have agriculture and allied sector, like poultry, animal rearing, plus mining and quarrying. Because this is related to natural activities that you do. So government said, I'm going to bring mining and quarrying, the mining part inside industry. If you read NCERT, it clearly says mining and quarrying cannot be industry. It is called as primary activity. It is not secondary activity. But what did Government of India do? Government included that in the secondary activity and they added it here. So let's add it. What is this, guys? 30.8%. And that's your answer. So what has Government of India done? Look at the Government of India. Now Government of India is boasting everywhere. And see how the government is managing things. Government is telling that in my national income of 100 rupees, the contribution of industrial sector, because all these things become industries. So now the contribution of industrial sector has become 30.8%. Now the spokesperson of the government are saying not 30.8. They are saying the contribution of industries in India's national income is around 31%. Now it has become around 31. And now they are even crossing that. So some of the spokesperson are saying that the contribution of industries in India is roughly around 1/3 of national income. Around 1/3. Look at this now. Around 1/3. Right. So first, this 17.3 and 2.4, 19.7 became 30.8. Now government is saying why to say 30.8? Say around 31. Oh, wonderful. Then they say why to say 31? Say around 1/3. 1/3 is 33. So now it has become around 1/3. Who does that? One government, second government, one political party, second political party, every political party. If you look at the history of independent India, you will see every third or fourth year or fifth year, when we have to give report to World Bank, etc., you will see, doesn't matter who the Prime Minister is, who the government is, because they are equally good in managing these things. So it doesn't really matter who the Chief Economic Advisor is, they will follow this definition of industries. Which means if UPSC is asking you a question, which of the following is a part of industries, and if you are answering the question using NCERT, 0. You will not get marks. Because according to NCERT, this is services and this is primary activities. And UPSC asked the question that which of the following is under secondary activity. So industries means secondary sector. So the government of India keeps changing this definition every second, third year. So in 2023, new definition came, 2024, same definition. But I'm really not sure what will happen in 2026, because for 2025, this definition has been told to continue. Government said we will continue. So since I have taught you that this is how the government manages, slip of tongue. This is how the government manages things. So if you are planning to write your UPSC in 2026, you just need to check in the budget where they have placed these things. Done. This is your capacity building, which means in 2026 and 27, if you are trying to appear in the exam that time and not now, so then you don't need to ask anybody. Open the budget and try to see where they have placed this. You will have your answer. So please write that currently industrial sector has 4 components. Some important facts related to industries are as follows. Some important facts related to industries are as follows. Hold on, guys. See, many times what happens is sometimes I remember 1 or 2 things, so I'll tell you that, then I'll start teaching. One thing which I forgot to tell you, to my online and offline students, if you are offline, you have already come in the class today, make sure that you are not absent in any of the days, please. Because there is a certain way of learning that I have developed for this module that is highly interactive. You'll see it very soon. That I will speak 70% of the times, but remaining 30% I'll make you speak and write. As we progress in the lecture, you will experience these things. So I suggest please don't be absent in any of the days. To my online students, when you sit and start attending this lecture, make sure that you behave as if you are in the class. There is no difference, I'm telling you this. I will torture you and trouble you exactly. I'll do it to my offline friends. So you'll face the same trouble, don't worry. And I'll take your names also. If I see that you are not attentive, I'll take your name and tell you be careful. Like for example, Ganesh was trying to relax a bit, but then he all of a sudden pulled out his head and said, no, I'm not relaxing, right? So I know you are writing. So guys, many a times you become little relaxed and lazy free. It's okay, even if I remain absent in one lecture. I'm telling you, it will cost you a lot. Don't do that, because topics are very interlinked, and it's very rigorous that we are going to follow a very rigorous system of learning where your participation is the utmost. That's number 1. Number 2, if some of your online friends, if you want to attend the lecture offline, you can. So if you are around or if you are coming to Delhi, you don't need to worry about it. You just need to inform the office. Just write a mail at contact Wajiram, and they will definitely allow you to attend the lecture offline as well. Last year, many of the online students, they used to ask me that we are coming to Delhi, can we come in your class for like 2-3 days because we are your online students? Of course, yes. Why not? You are most welcome. Okay, so you can do that. If you are around, make sure you come, you meet, and then you leave, no problem. Okay, fine. That's right. So what are we going to write? Some facts. Chalo, guys, your time to speak. Please have a look at the board and please answer some questions. Can you please tell me what is the contribution? Let's do rapid fire. What is the contribution of manufacturing in India's national income? Manufacturing? 17 point. Guys, keep speaking. You learn more. 17.3%. Can you please tell me what is the contribution of public utilities? Repeat it, please. Construction? 9%. And your favorite, mining and quarrying? Okay, now I'm going to change the question. Twist. Listen to the question carefully. Rapid fire. Then I'll dictate all this. Can you please tell me the name of that subsector? This is subsector. Name of that component which has the lowest contribution within industries. The name. Brilliant. Brilliant. This is how you answer the question. Can you please tell me? So for example, mining and quarrying, go to my online students, you can simply write MQ. I'll understand it's mining and quarrying. Okay. Now, that's number 1. Second question. Can you please tell me the name of that subsector which has the second highest contribution? Construction. And what is that amount? 9%. Can you please arrange them from less to highest contribution, least to high? Mining and quarrying, public utilities, call it public utilities. Then construction, and then manufacturing. Can you tell me the combined contribution of all these subsectors? One third. She's talking exactly like the government. Wonderful. You will contest election and you will definitely become the Prime Minister of India. And on that note, I'll give you a good tea. There is no connection. All right. So come back, guys. All right. 30.8%, one third. Very nice. This is, if you give this kind of response, I promise you'll never forget these things. And these are the things that you need to mention in your data book. So if you have your data book from next lecture, what we'll do in the class, we'll take a small pause of 30 seconds and we'll make it a habit almost every lecture. We'll open this page, we'll write, industries 30.8, manufacturing 17.7, blah, blah, something like this. Okay? Please write. Point number 1, contribution of manufacturing. Please write, contribution of manufacturing in India's national income is equal to 17.3%. 17.3%. In the bracket, please write 2023. Which year? 2023. We don't know about 24 because 24 is still running. So 2023. Second point, please write. Pacho, question for you. Again, question for you. Please participate. Now, if I ask you a simple question, be honest in your answer, okay? My question to you, let's start from you. So my question to you is very innocent, so he'll answer the question. So suppose that I'm your mom and dad. Very scary feeling. He says, hey, don't say this, sir. So suppose that I'm your mom and dad. Imagine this. And I'm asking you a question by making a phone call to you and asking you, beta, what is your study hours these days? How much are you studying these days in terms of self-study? So what will be your answer? 5 hours self-study. 4 hours? No, don't give this kind of answer. The best answer to give to the you are so innocent. Your friend is saying, sir, 1/3 of the day. Right? One of your friend is saying 4 hours. Right? Don't give this kind of answer. Numerical values, very dangerous because parents will catch you. They will compare. That last day you said 4, today you said 3. Your hours are coming down. You know what you should say? You should say, I am maintaining consistency. And I am maintaining full consistency. Now, parents are very innocent. Right? They will say, good, my child is very disciplined and consistent. But faculties are not very innocent. Faculty will grill you. If I'm your faculty, I'll ask you that, beta, what did you tell your parents? Consistency. Tell me what is that number of hours which you are consistently maintaining? You will say, sir, 1 hour every day. Right? So see what you have done. You have given a very good answer. I'm being very consistent. But consistent at what level? At a very low level of the spectrum. So if you maintain consistency at a very low level, that is not called as consistency. That is called as stagnancy. Because you're not improving. So what has happened to our industries? Our industries are pretty much behaving like this. So what is the habit of manufacturing sector? The manufacturing sector has become literally stagnant in India. So what has happened in last 15 years? If you look at last 15 years of figure, suppose this is the national income of India. And if you look at last 15 years, okay, are you understanding, guys? Last 15 years, 1.5 decade. So if you look at last 15 years, and if you look at the contribution of manufacturing sector in India's national income, you will see that this manufacturing sector is contributing in the range of 15 to 17% per annum. That's it. It doesn't cross this limit. So 17.3 is also around 17 only. This is the limit at which it has bound itself. So in UPSC, if I am writing an answer on manufacturing, immediately I'll recall this lecture in the class and I'll recall that what was sir saying in the class, it has become stagnant. Immediately I'll draw this graph. And I will say that this is 15 to 17% contribution and this is year. So for example, if you start from 2010 and then you reach 2023, you see this is the contribution of manufacturing. It has become stagnant. If you draw this kind of graph in UPSC, you get rewarded very high. Because who draws the graph or the diagrams? People with good conceptual clarity, they are able to do these things. So if you show this to the examiner, they will really respect you. And they will say, wow, this kid is very good because this is not a complicated graph. What is happening in the graph? See, this is your contribution in GDP and these are your years. So what are you doing? This is manufacturing sector, manufacturing. So first manufacturing sector's contribution was increasing. Then it became stagnant. Like see, in this range only it is moving like this. So it is within the range of this only. If you do something like this, you get rewarded very high in the exam for this simple representation. That reminds me about something else. I don't know if I should be talking about it right now, but I will give you an idea so that you are able to connect. There is one more thing which has become very stagnant in India. I'll teach you that in the class. And that stagnant thing, which is very similar to this, is agricultural productivity. If you look at the field of agriculture, so earlier suppose this is my field, this is my plot of land, and I'm a farmer, right? So I'm a farmer and this is my plot of land. From this plot of land, suppose I'm cultivating 20 years back, exactly 20 years back, I was cultivating 100 kg rice from this plot of land. How much rice am I cultivating today? Either 95 or 96 or 100, which means in the same range. Which means that this plot of land is not giving me higher production every year. Now what has happened? The level of production from the same plot of land has become stagnant. So there are two things that you should keep in mind when you are preparing Indian economy. Two things have become stagnant in India. First, the contribution of manufacturing sector in India's GDP, absolutely constant. It has become almost stagnant. And second thing which has become stagnant is agricultural productivity. What is productivity? Productivity means your output by your land size. This is called as agricultural productivity, which means from a given land size, what is the output you are getting? So see, output upon plot size. This is your productivity. It is constant in India. It is neither improving a lot nor decreasing. It has become almost fixed, bulky. It is going down now. This is the danger. So two things you should keep in mind. Please write. Second point. Please write second point. Guys, please write. The contribution of manufacturing in India's national income, the contribution of manufacturing in India's national income in last 1.5 decades, has remained in the range of 15 to 17%, of 15 to 17%. And guys, you should draw this graph. And where you draw this graph, you should write mains, which means in mains answer, we will use this in the class. So draw this graph, please. Done? Good. 15 to 17%. You should memorize. To my online students, are you drawing the graph? Good. Draw it, please. Very important. Cool. Next point. Public utilities. Next point. Please write next point. Public utilities and construction. Public utilities and construction together contribute around 10 to 11%. 10 to 11%. You know what I have seen in UPSC? There is one weird kind of thing which has happened. Because they have asked all the standard questions. So these days what they do is, they know that there is something new included. Construction has been newly included in industry. So what UPSC will do is, they will take 1 point from here, 1 point from here, they will combine it, and then they will expect you to memorize that the contribution of these two together is around 10%, 10, 11, 10, 11. Very weird kind of thing, but they do it. Why? Because they have exhausted all the standard question. I mean, what will they ask? They also have to stay relevant and show that we are asking good questions. So what they will do is they'll combine these two. Why will they combine these two only? Because the answer is the contribution of these two together is roughly 10, 11, 11.5, around 10%. And they expect you to memorize this. Next point, please write. Contribution of mining and quarrying is the lowest. Contribution, they ask these things, huh? Contribution of mining and quarrying is the lowest. They ask which is the lowest, which is the highest. Contribution of mining and quarrying is the lowest. That is around 2%. Around 2%. Next, please write. Next, please write. Okay, before I tell you the next. You know that these are the component wise contribution, but this is the overall industrial contribution. What is the overall industrial contribution, guys? 3 answers I gave you. First, so first I gave you 30.8%. So we will have different answers. What is the contribution of industries in our national income? First is real answer 30.8%. Very nice. So this is 30 to 31%, and third answer is 1/3. What will be asked in your UPSC prelims? All the 3. UPSC has a habit, they will ask you any of the 3 and they will say, which of the following in general is correct about the contribution of industries? Done. And then they will ask any of these things. We should know this. Please write. Overall contribution of industries. Overall contribution of industries. Overall contribution of industries is, let me please write this, 30.8%. You should write like this, 30.8% oblique 30 to 31%, then 1/3. These are the 3 answers, or 1/3, right? Now, here I wanted to show you this as well. Look at this, please. There is no need to do this. These type of graphs, it is from economic survey and budget. There is no need to do it in the class, literally. Why? Because this has to be done in a slightly different way. Because if you look at these graphs and all, it looks so mind-boggling, because this is not the only graph. Yes, 1/3 of national income. This is not the only graph that you will have to do. You will have to do 20 other graphs. So I strongly suggest that we should get away from all this. We should convert this into this kind of analysis. This is easy to memorize, and then we should write those one-liners. Achha, where will the one-liner help you? I'll tell you how to use it. Later on, we'll use it in answer writing. So how will this help you? So for example, in UPSC, I have seen one question asked in the past. I'll show you those questions. That which of the following is correct about industrial sector? Listen to the question carefully. Which of the following is correct about industrial sector? Statement number 1, the contribution of industries in national income is roughly 17%. Contribution of industries is 17%. Right or wrong? Absolutely wrong. Contribution of industries is 30.8% or 31%. Brilliant. Now they will ask you the second statement. The contribution of manufacturing is around 17%. Correct. So please don't confuse that manufacturing means industries. It does not. But why do they use these manufacturing and industries interchangeably? Because within industries, manufacturing is having the highest contribution. That is why they sometimes use this interchangeably. But when they ask you figures that industries 17%, no, industries 30%, 31%, 1/3, but manufacturing 17%. So there is a difference. So data is important. Okay, let's come back. Please write, define Lewis model. It's important. Define Lewis model. Define Lewis model. AC not working. Temperature. So please write define Lewis model. In the same question, please write, does India follow Lewis model? Does India follow Lewis model? Does India follow Lewis model? Second question, please write. Can we apply, second question, can we apply Lewis model in the current economic scenario? In the current economic scenario. Right? Now let us understand what this Lewis model is, how to apply it, what went wrong, what is so right. I'll tell you so many things about it, because this is the basis of the industries in India that we are going to do. And government just loves to ask questions from here. So because I don't know, something has happened to the government of India that they are not conducting any competitive exam in India where they are not asking question from here. So sometimes they will explicitly mention that discuss Lewis model. Sometimes they will remove the word Lewis and they will say discuss this. Actually, they are asking you Lewis model. And it has happened in UPSC, it has happened in all the competitive exam. In the state exams also, the public service commissions, they are asking these type of questions. So let us understand this very clearly. So see guys, there was an economist, his name was Dr. Arthur Lewis. So he wrote a research paper in 1954. You have to write the name of this research paper. So please write that Lewis model was proposed by Dr. Arthur Lewis. Dr. Arthur Lewis. Lewis model was proposed by Dr. Arthur Lewis in his research paper. Economic development with unlimited supplies of labor. Please write this name. Economic development with unlimited supplies of labor. Economic development with unlimited supplies of labor. 1954. Please put a full stop, guys. Now let's have a discussion. Now guys, see, I want to ask you a question. Now imagine we are in Stone Age, okay? Now, but whenever I ask you to imagine, don't over-imagine, then there will be problems. Only imagine to an extent. So imagine that we are in the Stone Age, and I ask you the first question, that exactly in the Stone Age, when civilization has not become very developed, how would you expect people to behave? What are they doing for their livelihood? Hunting and gathering? Obviously, right, wonderful. So they are doing, absolutely correct, they are doing hunting and gathering. Now over a period of time, as you domesticate animals, as you get close to nature, you will understand how to cultivate crops, you will understand how to domesticate animals and use them for agriculture, which means that from hunters and gatherers, you will become farmers. You will start basic cultivation of crops. Second question. Now imagine guys that agriculture had started in the initial phases. So can you please tell me that from hunter and gatherer, when we become almost like farmers and cultivators, do we cultivate for self-consumption or do we cultivate for barter system and market initially? Only self-consumption, only self-consumption. That brings me to another question. So if you bring this kind of data book in the class, when I tell you these facts, either you can write this in your data book. Example. So today you please write it somewhere in the margin. After the class today, buy this kind of small notebook and you please jot down those points in the data book. So what is the point I'm going to tell you? Listen to the point carefully. You will really enjoy these kind of points. So what is mentioned by Government of India in the current budget this time? In the budget, the Government of India has mentioned that suppose Indian farmers are cultivating currently. So government is saying that if Indian farmers are cultivating 100 kg of crops, 100 kg crops, this is being cultivated by Indian farmers today. So government is saying that they have observed that in last 5 to 6 years, on an average, out of 100 kg crop cultivation by farmers, roughly 22 to 25% crop the farmers are using for self-consumption. That's the data for self-consumption, and roughly around 75%, sometimes 78%. So roughly 75 to 78% is used by farmers to sell it in the market. So farmers sell roughly 75 to 78%, but farmers consume roughly 22 to 25%. That's the current data. And then Government of India says, and you will really love this point, then government, because tomorrow when you become an officer, you will have to play with this number. And then the government says that from this 75 to 78%, the farmers either sell in the mandis called APMC mandi. I'll teach you APMC mandi when I teach agriculture, but for today, please understand, APMC mandi would mean a market where the farmers are selling the crop with the help of state government. So that is this mandi, right? So from this 75 to 78%, the farmers either sell in the mandi market of the state government, or the farmers give their crop to Government of India through MSP. This is what the farmers do. So when somebody told the Government of India, why don't you make MSP legal? Why don't you buy all the crops from the farmers, whatever they give you? So Government of India said, are you understanding what you are saying? So you are telling me, I am the Government of India, that when farmer produces 100 kg, they will keep 20 to 25 kg in their pocket for self-consumption. And we are telling the Government of India that government remaining 75 to 78, don't send the farmer to mandi, you please buy everything. So government says, are you listening to yourself what you are saying? India should buy this much. Where will we keep it? And you are saying that farmer should never go to market. This is the danger which government said that is there in my mind. Then people said, government, don't do this. Why don't you make sure that at least from this, you make a commitment that you will buy some part compulsorily. Government said, debate will be done later on. Don't talk about this because this is too much of food. We don't know how to store. We don't know how to procure, how to transport. We don't have that system. This became the debate which we will do in the class when we do agriculture, because I'll bring this question again. So guys, I have a question for you. Imagine that you are the finance minister of India. Think about it, guys. I told you that you have to interact with me. You are the finance minister of India and I'm the farmer. And I'm forcing you that you have to help me. I'm not a rich farmer, I'm a poor farmer. I have grown 100 kg of crops, 25 kg I'm keeping for myself. Remaining 75, either I sell in the market or MSP, but I'm telling you that government, I'm not going to go to the market. You have to take this entire 75 from me. So imagine that out of this 75, guys, focus, out of this 75 kg of food grain, earlier 30 kg was going in the APMC Mandi and remaining, let's say that 45 kg was going to the government through MSP. But now I am the farmer, I am telling you, the Ministry of Finance, that take this entire thing in your pocket, government, and give me MSP. What is the extra burden that will fall on the government of India if government buys this entire amount? Extra burden will be only 30 kg. So when the government of India started to say, no, I can't buy all this, immediately farmer said, what are you saying? You don't have to buy all, you are already buying. You have to buy this part extra. So please don't fool this country by saying that I am buying all these things from you. You are not buying everything. You are just buying this already. So the extra burden that will fall over you is not this. You are already buying this, government. Extra burden is this. So if we are able to calculate the monetary value of this, we will understand how fiscal deficit of India will rise. Isn't it? Fiscal deficit means government's burden. This is going to give the burden. So when I teach you agriculture, I will teach you that if government buys this also from the farmer, what is the extra burden that is expected on the government? That burden will become the government borrowing or debt. That will be like a load on the government. And that government is trying to avoid. And you know what that number is? Roughly around 8 lakh crores. If government also buys this, the extra burden on the government will be 8 lakh crore. For this 8 lakh crore, government is saying, sorry, I can't take it. So guys, if you have the data book, from next lecture, what will you have written? Abhi to in side margin you should write. Somewhere you should mention it. So what will you write? That roughly 22 to 25% is self-consumption. This figure. Did you write it? This figure, 22 to 25. And then next figure that you should write is that if government legalizes MSP, keep writing this data, it will help. If government legalizes MSP, I'll teach you this in agriculture, don't worry. MSP, the extra burden on the government will be around rupees 8 to 10 lakh crores. Rupees 8, see this guys, rupees 8 to 10 lakh crores. 8 to 10 lakh crores. I want to ask a question to you. Now guys, imagine this and you feel it, please. Whenever you study something, get into the groove of it, get into the soul of it and start feeling that subject. I'm telling you, you will fall in love with the subject. So how? For example, suppose that you are conducting an interview. I'm one of the UPSC aspirants and I've just reached the interview and you are asking a question to me, just a basic question. You are the UPSC board and you are asking a question that, so Mr. or Miss Candidate, can you please tell us that should government of India purchase all the crops from the farmer, and if no, why? If yes, why? And government is saying that it will put so much of burden. Do you really believe so? Now imagine if I'm giving an answer like this. No, government of India should not purchase all the food grain because it will put a burden. That's one answer. Second, yes, government should purchase everything because we have to save the farmer's life. That's qualitative answer. Because if you just give qualitative answer, you are not able to justify yourself through data, through fact, that how much of burden is it going to put, or it is not going to put burden. You are not able to justify. But imagine if you tell your answer in a slightly different way like this, and you are the judge, I am giving the interview. So suppose that I am telling you as a candidate that, Saran ma'am, you know, farmers in India produce, let's say, 100 kg of crops. I start my answer with this only. That suppose farmers are producing, and trust me, I have done this in my all my interviews, all my life I have done this, and it has worked. I never take the real numbers. I always take the 100 kg wala example. And it gives such an amazing kind of answer. So I'll tell you, you are the interview board, that Saran ma'am, suppose farmers are producing 100 kg of crops. Out of this, I am a farmer, suppose, I am keeping 25 kg for my consumption. Remaining 75 kg, I am bringing in the market. Out of that, the government is already buying this. Let's say 45 kg government is already buying. So this is not extra burden, it is already there. The extra burden will be this, which is 8 to 10 lakh crores. If government of India can save the corruption part of subsidy, so there are people in this country who are not poor, but they are taking the money from the government of India by saying we are poor, like LPG subsidy, fertilizer subsidy. So if government of India is able to identify who are those people who are actually not poor, but they are taking subsidies in the name of poverty, if we can eliminate them from the system and say, no, you don't take money because you are actually rich. Why are you taking fertilizer subsidy? If we can remove those people and save the money, that money can be given to farmers. And you can justify this. So when I teach you agriculture, we will take some numbers and then we will play around with the concept. So am I teaching you MSP right now? No. Am I teaching you should it be legal? No. Am I teaching you should it be illegal? No. I'm not teaching anything. I'm just trying to tell you that if you have some data in your kitty, if you have some data in your book, when the right time comes, you can take it out and start arguing. This will help you. Okay? So this was an example. Okay, let's come back. So guys, Lewis model. Now, Pankaj later on, agriculture later on. Pehle yahan pe. So, abhi we are doing industries. When the time comes, I'll definitely talk about it, the impact of subsidy, etc. So later on, not now. Abhi to you just keep writing the data. So guys, what is Lewis model? Question for you. So you told me that in the Stone Age, hunters and gatherers, then you told me when we started agriculture, we start for self-consumption. Now in the society, suppose these are the people. Guys, please focus here. To my online students, see this. These are all the people in the society when we started to become civilized. And what are they doing? Agriculture. They are very happy. But one problem, that over a period of time, everybody that you see in the picture, they will start to overproduce. Why? Domesticate animals, get seeds, fertilizers, etc. So new things. So when you start something new, you have that enthusiasm. Initially production is low, later on this will be the production. So suppose this guy is producing a lot of tomatoes. This guy is producing tomatoes. Initially 1 kg, then 100 kg, then 200 kg. Now he is giving tomatoes to his other friends. After distribution of tomatoes also, in his godown or at his home, this much tomato is left, what will he do? And at that time, the system of, preserving the tomatoes, refrigeration, etc. would not be very strong. So what will happen to the tomatoes? They will rot. It will be wasted. So what will he do? So when agriculture becomes very strong and he has surplus, he will come here and he will say, hey, let me convert my tomatoes into chutney called as tomato ketchup. The fancy name, sophisticated name is ketchups. And the Indian name is chutneys. So what does he do? He converts tomatoes into tomato ketchup. Very basic tomato ketchup, huh? So now this guy, he produces potatoes. He is also watching this. He's saying, acha, okay. So this person moved from here to here and converted tomatoes into tomato ketchup. I'm also going to take my potatoes and come here, and he converts the potatoes into gold. Simple. Sorry, potatoes into chips. Slip of tongue. Right? So he converts tomatoes into tomato ketchup. He converts potatoes into chips. Don't write that, huh? So what is happening now in the society, in the economy, guys, this is the part you should notice. In the society, you see that people from here, if you are creative, you'll start moving from here to here and you will start converting your raw products into slightly better products. That's the birth of industries. This is how industrialization began in the world. So this movement from agriculture to industry shows two things. Please focus, guys. It shows two things. First, that there is movement of surplus labor. See, surplus labor is moving and nothing wrong is happening to agriculture, because in agriculture, as population keeps on increasing, these people are not required. So they said, let's move. That's why you see यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है? Economic development with unlimited supplies of labor. As population increases, those people are not required there. They moved. Second thing which is happening is sectoral diversification happened. Third thing which has happened is product diversification happened. So you have two things, three things. First, movement of surplus labor. Second, you have sectoral diversification. And third, you have product diversification. These three things together are called as Lewis model. That's the Lewis model. Now, next part that I want to ask before giving you the dictation is, please answer this question. That this guy, Dr. Arthur Lewis, he's a legend by the way. So Dr. Arthur Lewis passed away after giving this theory. He did not survive to see the modern world. I want to ask you a question. This industry becomes complicated in future because it has to buy raw material from 5 countries, it has to hire 100 employees, machines, it has to manage accounts, etc., etc. Some software has to be used. Who will help this industry? Service. So for example, one IT engineer will come and say, hey, I'll do the data management for you. One HR guy will come and say that I will do the human resource management for you. And third person will come and say that I will do the marketing and sales for you. What are these? Transportation facility will come and say, I'll help you in transportation, packaging, etc. What are we talking about? Services. Yes, Manas, absolutely correct. He did not talk about services. So since I told you that he already departed the world, so he could not extend his model to services because he was not there in the world. How will he extend? So we take that responsibility. Let's extend his model. So if Lewis were alive today, what he would have done is he would have easily extended the model and said that after industries develop services. So I'll give you 2 examples. You know who are these people? That's your Mr. Narayan Murthy and that's your Dr. Sudha Murthy. And we are talking about the year 1980. 1980s. In 70s, they were in the college. So in 1980, exactly in 1980s, guys, listen to it carefully. In 1980s, Dr. Sudha Murthy was working with Tata Steel in a manufacturing company. And Mr. Narayan Murthy had just completed his MTech and he was also planning to join some industry. So they were talking, husband and wife, they were talking that time in 1980 that let's also open one industry. So husband and wife were discussing, let's open a industry, manufacturing industry kind of place, Tata Steel and all. So what did they do? They talked to the government and they said, government, can we open one factory? Government said, sorry, not allowed. They said, why? So government of India told them, for factory you need electricity, we don't have it. For factory you need water, we don't have it. For factory you need roads, we don't have it. For factory you need transportation, sorry, we don't have it. Plus, when the British came to India, it was through East India Company, which was a private company. And rest is history, we know what they did to us. So government of India after independence was very cautious and government did not have any kind of feelings for private companies. So when these people were telling the government, we will create a private company in India related to manufacturing after independence. Government said, sorry, you need a license first. They said, what is license? So I'll teach you all these things later on when I teach you 5-year plans. So government of India at that time, 1980, was telling every private company that, hey, you are a private company, you want to manufacture pen, you want to manufacture toothpaste, you want to manufacture toothbrush, take a license. So private company said, why license? Government said, because we don't want you to do anything which will harm the society. So private company said, I am going to manufacture toothpaste, how will it harm the society? Government said, what if you use some chemicals which is not good? What if you use the color in the toothpaste which does not suit the society? They said, color? So government said, yes, we will decide what should be the color of the toothpaste. We will decide the size of the toothpaste ka tube. We will decide the packaging material. Everything has to be decided by government. You don't do anything from your side because if you become too free, then you will behave like the East India Company. This used to be our attitude. So we said, sorry, private companies, not allowed. And number 2, we did not support them through infrastructure. We didn't have money because when we got independence, we were almost bankrupt. So we don't have money at that time, plus government is very skeptical about private companies. So what would happen if you are Mr. and Mrs. Murthy? So this couple said at that time that there is no advantage in doing manufacturing because government is not helping. Let us shift. They shifted. And what did they do? Immediately they established a company called Infosys, 1980s, 81. They established Infosys. The moment you establish Infosys, everybody is asking you, hey boss, you established Infosys. Don't you need a license? They said, no, license in India is only valid for manufacturing, not services. Number 2, for this service industry, you don't need waste management, you don't need water facilities, etc. From work from home also, you can start this. You don't need big trucks. You don't need packaging material. No support is required. You can just manage. Even if road is not there, you can manage. They said, wow, very nice. So what happened in India? Starting from agriculture, we did not go to industries because industries became difficult for us. Why? Because infrastructure was not there, government support was not there, and we had some sort of negativity against manufacturing because we felt they will behave like East India companies. So we did not motivate them. So in India, this part gone. So what happened in India? Service sector developed. So guys, India is a very different country in that sense, a very unique country in that sense, that first agriculture developed, then we almost skipped manufacturing and see how we jumped to services. Which other country in the world has followed the same model? Our best friend, Brazil. So India and Brazil. Brazil also faced the same issue. In Brazil also, they did not have much money to create infrastructure for industries. They were not hating industries. They didn't have the money to create infrastructure for industry. So what happened in Brazil? They found services to be easy. They said, yeah, this is easy. Take a computer and start working. So India and Brazil have followed a model where from agriculture, they jumped to services and they almost skipped. What is the meaning of almost? Almost doesn't mean that there is no industry. Almost skip means hardly any industry is there and we just skipped. What happened because of this? Something very dangerous happened. Look at it very carefully, bacho, before we write all this. See. So now, there are two people who have moved from here to here. That is Mr. and Mrs. Murthy. Because their parents were also like, old generation were farmers and all. So guys, focus on this one. It's very, very crucial. Two people from here moved here. Now there is no industry. Literally in India, almost industry vanished because government did not support. Now suppose guys that this is mom and this is dad. Okay, so there is mom and dad. So that's your mom and that's your dad and this is the kid. There are three people. So this kid is telling the mom and dad that mom and dad, can I join industries because I don't want to be a farmer. So parents are saying that beta, please go explore. If you find any industry, please you go there. So what is this kid doing? Kid is started to travel. He came here. He started to look for industries. Where are industries? Where are industries? No industries. Then the kid says, let me try my luck in services. Comes here. Says, Infosys, can you hire me? Infosys says, beta, do you have skill? He says, no, I don't have. So Infosys says, why don't you have skill? He says, because I come from tribal area, there is no school. There is no training center. So I come from a village area, rural area. Health and education infrastructure is very, very bad. So Infosys says, sorry beta, we can't hire you. Our sympathies are with you, but we can't hire you because you don't have the skill. So please go back. So he comes to manufacturing and he tries his luck anywhere in manufacturing, but very limited. Only some states of India have manufacturing. Some government companies were doing good initially, but by 1990 they failed. I will teach you one specific lecture on government companies, and then I will tell you that government companies failed in India because they became too powerful. And they became almost like a monopoly, which means they started to believe that they are the boss. And they stopped taking care of society and people. They failed. It became whole corrupt system. So government companies failed. Private companies did not succeed. It was almost blank. So this guy is moving around and with a very heavy heart, he comes back and says, I can't do anything. Now, Government of India did a survey last year. Listen to it very carefully. A survey was done last year and guess what the government found? Government found that if you look at the entire workforce of India, what is the meaning of workforce? The meaning of workforce is either those people who are working or those people who are ready to work. That's your workforce. So workforce of India currently roughly is around 56 crore people. So let's say 56 crore people of India are either ready to work or they are working, roughly 56 crore. Now out of, let's say that total workforce of India is 100 people. Out of 100 people, how many people in India have certified skill? Certified skill means you have taken your skill training from some institute, which is authenticated institute. You have certificates, roughly 4.7%. That's the skill level of India according to the new budget. These are the entries that should go in the data book. So you write it somewhere. I'm going to show you a figure. Look at this, please. This will break your heart, I know it. Look at the skill level of India. According to which document? Budget 2024 and Economic Survey 2023-24. This is the latest figure from this year's budget. So what is the skill level of India? Means certified skill, formal skill. This is formal skill. Formal means you have the certificate from some agency which is authenticated by government. 4.7% is the skill level of India. 4.7. Out of 100 people, 4.7 people have the skill. And what is the skill level in UK? 68%. What is the skill level in Germany? 75%. USA, 52%. Japan, 80%. Look at our best friend, South Korea, 96%. How can we compete against South Korea, Japan, USA, Germany, and UK? Chinese skill is also around 50 to 55%. How can we compete against them with 4.7%? Don't you feel this is slightly bad? Where do you study all this? Which paper? GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4? Paper 2. Social issues. Health, education, poverty, all these things are mentioned. Skill development, all these things are in GS paper 2. So in GS paper 2, you will have to use this data. In GS paper 3, you can use this in your mains answer. That our industries or our people are not doing well because we have failed to train them. That's the problem. So let's come back. So what is happening, bacho? See, I follow the story model. The story helps us to understand a lot of things. So this guy is roaming around with a 4.7% skill. So what happens to this person? He comes back and says, Mom and Dad, sorry, I didn't get a job. Now see what will happen in future. Don't connect yourself with this next part of the story. Please don't connect. This guy in future gets married. That's it. So he gets married, he has his own family. So this boy gets this land from mom and dad. From mom and dad. So this boy gets married and he has 2 children, land divided. Those 2 children will have 2 children, land divided. So every child getting married and land is divided in India. Here you go. This is what has happened in India. So in the field of agriculture, population is increasing, land is getting divided. Which means if I ask you a question today, and I know that you know the answer, that can you please tell me that if there are 100 farmers in India today, 100 farmers are there here, out of 100 farmers, how many farmers are there who have very small piece of land which is less than 2 hectares? Less than 2 hectares is called as very small piece of land. So how many farmers of India have very small piece of land which is not worth using in agriculture? You can't run a tractor there. What percentage? 89.4% according to current budget. Which means if you have to write your data book entry, you should write that roughly 89.4% of Indian farmers, please write bacho, roughly, not 86, 86 is old number, Manas 80 is old and Pawan 86 is old number. Yes, Devashish, correct. So please write that, what did I tell you, sentence? Roughly around 89.4% of Indian farmers are small and marginal. Small and marginal. That is, they own less than 2 hectares of land. That is, they own less than 2 hectares of land. So, bacho, what is the standard symbol for small and marginal farmers in India? Standard symbol, SMF. Small and marginal farmers. So in newspaper, when you read newspaper, no, every day you will see in the newspaper, SMF is this, SMF is this. So basically they're talking about small and marginal farmers. Now, what did we see? Something very interesting coming up. It will give you an amazing picture of Indian economy, and then you will start to see, oh, that is the reason we are suffering from problem. The biggest problem suffered by India is that people started to multiply in the field of agriculture and land size started to go down. When these people wanted to shift to industries, we have limited options. Government failed to provide them skill. So the people who are born in agriculture remain in agriculture. So what will happen to average income? Average income will go down, which means family size increases, your land size goes down. Family is becoming bigger, land size is becoming smaller, and you become vulnerable. What will it lead to? Rural poverty. It led to rural poverty in India. So it took us more than 75 years to reduce our poverty. Because here comes poverty, and poverty leads to inequality. So poverty, unemployment, inequality, all the things happened there. What happened in this field? Services. This service industry became the middle class of India. Yeah, this is the middle class of India. If somebody will ask you that, hey, they say that India has a big middle class. Which middle class? That's your middle class. Majorly, this is our middle class. So people who are born here, whose parents got into services, they are doing pretty well. So this is the area of prosperity and this is the area of deficiency. Some people from agriculture migrated to cities thinking that I will get a better life. When they got into cities, they realized that they can't get a job in service sector. So they started to become urban poor, migration. So in India, two types of poverty developed, rural poor and when they migrated, urban poor. These two types of poverty became total poverty of India. So if somebody will ask you today, because you are my UPSC aspirants and you are my future policy makers, that tell us the root cause of problem in India, which led to poverty, inequality, unemployment, and a lot of chaos in the society. The biggest problem that led to all this, number one, lack of bridge between agriculture and service, which means service manufacturing was missing, which was one of the biggest problem. Second biggest problem was skill. We failed to provide skill. Had we provided skill, some people would have got an opportunity to move from here to here. But if somebody will ask you, beta, tell us why industries could not develop. One of the biggest reason for lack of industries in India is infrastructure. If infrastructure was there, even under license Raj system, I would have tried. But what is the meaning of license Raj? What is the meaning of industries if there is no water supply, electricity supply, transportation system? Even if government gives me license that please go and manufacture this pen, how will I manufacture? There is no electricity, there is no water, there is nothing. How will I manufacture? What will I do with the license? So if I come in the class and I don't give you any handout, I don't give you any class dictations, don't give you any data and tell you, you have my full support. What support am I talking about? There is no meaning of support in that case. So support means something tangible should be there first of all, which means infrastructure, and then qualitative support that, okay, how to use this. Both the things are missing. That is why, what did India, yes, what did your friend is saying, if you don't give handout, moral support is okay. Right? Very innocent kid. So guys, what did India do? Developed agriculture, missed this opportunity of manufacturing, jumped into services. So this created problems. Okay, please write. Let's write that in the initial stages, change the paragraph guys, and please write, in the initial stages, hold on please. Oh, we have Manu again. Manu, where are you from? Which place? I'll tell you why. So, because it reminds me, oh, you're from Bangalore. So last year also when I was taking the module, there was a student, his name was Manu actually. And he attended the lecture for like almost a month. Then he got really unwell and sick. He could not continue. Again, he rejoined and he covered everything. And then one day he came to Delhi. I remember he was from Madhya Pradesh. He came to Delhi. He's an inspiration. He came to Delhi and he met me and he said that I've just come to meet. And when I asked him, how's your studies going? Miraculously, he had covered the entire syllabus in the hospital itself. He was hospitalized for almost 2 months. And that day I felt very small. I felt that I was thinking that maybe I'm studying such a difficult subject. I don't know how I'll do, because every day when I read 4 or 5 newspapers, I feel, God, this is so difficult. When I spoke to him and he told me, he showed me pictures that, sir, I attended all your lectures from hospital bed because I was not really well. From that day onwards, I mean, I got a lesson from my student that what I'm facing is not difficult. 4 newspapers are very easy. Isn't it? So you face something similar? He's your friend. So he used to attend my lecture from hospital also. He used to write many times. Now also he's in hospital. That's very sad. But so tell your friend that I still remember him and my blessings are with him. Because there are some people who become inspiration for you. So sometimes the students also become our inspiration. So many of you, I know that if I get into your history, I'll get to know how difficult or challenging your life has been. So you guys inspire us a lot. So that Manu, that name, no, that resonates in my mind even today. So that was it. So guys, let's continue. I know it was not related to syllabus. Good to know that you are here in the class. At least I'll know from you how he's doing. Chaliye, please write. How did we start? In the initial stages, thank you. In the initial stages of growth in the society, we observe the development of agriculture sector. we observe the development of agriculture sector. The agriculture mostly produces for self-consumption. The agriculture mostly produces for self-consumption in the beginning, but over time, it becomes mature. And produces for the market. During this phase, there is development of basic industries. During this phase, there is development of basic industries. Over time, industries also become mature. This path of development is called as Lewis model. It has three unique features. Number one, there is transition of workers from primary to secondary sector. Primary is agriculture, secondary is industries. There is transition of workers from primary to secondary sector. Number two, there is sectoral diversification. Why diversification? Because initially only agriculture, now both agriculture and industry. Sectoral diversification. Third, there is product diversification. What is product diversification? Initially only limited products, then more variety of products. Processed food, product diversification. Now please write that almost the entire world followed Lewis model. Almost, what is important? Because there are two countries which did not follow it. One is India and second is Brazil. Now, let's write a note, NOT note. Please write. India and Brazil are exceptions. Achha, whenever I tell you to write a note, kids, you should write like this. NOTE, note. India and Brazil are exceptions. Now, please give a small title. India and Lewis model. Achha, one thing you have to learn, kids, in the class itself. Whenever you are making notes, you have to make sure that your entire notes is organized in the form of various subheadings. Because you never know which subheading will be asked in the exam in the form of a question. So subheadings should be there along with some diagram and facts. So a subheading, please, India and Lewis model. So what are we going to write, kids? India is unique. Please write. India is unique. Yes, correct. India is unique in the sense that we almost took a jump, India is unique in the sense that we almost took a jump from agriculture to services. Agriculture to services. Hold on, please. I want to tell you one or two things so that it sets the tone for the lecture. There are three things, guys, which we are not going to do today. It won't be possible. We'll do it in the future. And then at the time when we'll do these three things, you will see the connection. The first thing is, there is something called skill development. So ideally, we don't do skill for economics. And frankly speaking, last year in the module, I didn't do the skill part because skill development, etc., is not a part of economics. It's a part of GS paper 2. But this time I feel like doing it in the class itself because I feel that if I give you some small write-up or some lecture related to a small part of the lecture related to skill, you will be able to see everything in interconnections that, okay, this problem happened in skill in GS paper 2, hence paper 3 got affected. So I'll give you a small lecture on skill development in India with some list of schemes. Even if it's GS paper 2, koi baat nahi, we'll do it. Okay? So don't tell me later on extra, why did we do extra? I'm telling you we'll do it because it is required. That's number one. Number two, I will give you a separate lecture on, as I told you, something called as public sector enterprises, that how the government companies developed in India, what went actually wrong in those companies, because easily India could have developed public sector enterprises which could have become successful. We tried to develop it, but we almost killed it. Why? Extra care, extra concern, hand holding for too long destroys the capability of the person. So have you noticed that when you start to grow after your school, when you entered into college, your parents don't hold your hand now. They don't hold your hand and tell you, beta, let me take you to college. Because you will say, mom and dad, I have grown up now. Please don't do that. Right? Micromanagement, your friend is saying. Absolutely correct. We should not micromanage that, hey, you should drink water like this. You should hold pen like this. It will destroy us. So what did you observe? You observe that when you go into college, what do your parents tell you? Parents tell you, beta, now you have the wings. You develop your own strength and you please fly. Make mistakes and learn. That is what we do. We forgot to do this in case of government companies and we killed them. That is the reason that it didn't happen. So I give you a separate lecture on that. Disinvestment, privatization, monetization, government companies is up later on, not today. There is one thing which we will do in the class in the form of answer writing. What is that question? What is the reason for poor performance of industries in India? That will be one of the answers that we will write in the class. I won't tell you direct answer. So one day after 3-4 lectures when we conduct, one day we'll sit comfortably all of us in the class. I'll give you your answer sheets. Blank answer, and then you'll have to write in front of me. To my online students, you will also write and you will show me what you have written. To my online students, you will have to type in that chat window. I'll read it. To my offline students, you will write here itself. Then we will have a discussion and I'll tell you the perfect answer. But first you will write. Okay? So if I ask you today, I want to see if my kids are noticing some points or not. I just want to check how careful you were in the class. So can you tell me one big reason why industries could not develop in India? Just tell me one reason. Government support was not there, which means, beautiful point. Let me tell about her point. So your friend, your offline friend is saying, my dear friends, that government did not provide any support to manufacturing companies. Essentially, what she is trying to say is, there was no dedicated policy called as manufacturing policy in India, and she is so right. You find me a policy called as manufacturing policy or national manufacturing policy before 1991, you will not find anything. So she's absolutely correct. There is nothing called dedicated manufacturing. There is policy called industrial policy. But within industrial policy, there is no specific thing which is mentioned. And even if there is industrial policy, what is written inside the policy? Take license, only government will produce this, only government will do that. Huge restrictions. And there is no policy called as national manufacturing policy for India. Absolutely correct. Second, your online friend. But let me take one of your answer from your online friend. Your online friend is saying that lack of infrastructure, which is absolutely correct. You guys said the same thing. One of your friend is saying license Raj system. So instead of support, government was preventing them from growing. Wonderful. So one of your friend is saying that, sir, there was lack of capital. Is it true?
We were willing to invest.
But your friend is saying something. So I'm going to read the entire thing. You tell me if your friend is right or wrong. Lack of skill is one point. Absolutely, absolutely. So, Abhi, I can give you one example from real life. L&T. you please go to the portal of L&T company which manufactures infrastructure. If you go to their portal, they have a vacancy of 20,000 technicians since last 3 months, and they have been able to fill hardly 500 posts. Remaining post vacant because they are saying the skill which we require is not there in India. Which means, don't you feel that our skill training institute should have a tie-up with industries so that they will develop that skill which is demanded by industries? That tie-up is missing, absolutely. One of your friends mentioned a very good point online. Your friend said that there was a lack of capital in a different sense. Your friend is saying, Ganesh I think mentioned, that capital was there, but entire capital was being taken by government companies. So your friend is saying that government was not helping the private companies. Why? Because the banking system of India was designed in a way, which I'll teach you in the class. Banking system was designed in a way that the banks were giving money to government companies only. So banks were saying, sorry, we don't have money for you. Rate of interest used to be very high for private companies. Automatically, you filtered out the private. So money was there, but indirectly you discriminated. And your online friend is saying, one of your friends had just mentioned that, sir, maybe our mindset was not pro companies. Absolutely correct. Very good word. Our mindset was not pro private companies or manufacturing. Our mindset was very conservative. I'm not saying good or bad. I'm saying it was conservative. Oh, to hoga hi na? I'll tell you one thing. So imagine, guys, that you become very good friends with somebody. Somebody comes to your life and tells you that I'll be your best friend forever. I'll stand by you, whatever comes, etc., etc. And after 5 days, the person leaves and blocks your number. And the person deserts you, ghosts you out. Now, what will happen inside you? Something will change because you have had full trust in that person. You opened up, you shared phone numbers, you talked, you had coffee, Maggie, etc. And then you realize that all of a sudden, one morning, the person ghosts you out. Now, next person who comes to your life, you will start to look at that person with a lot of suspicion that, oh, you are trying to enter my life in the same way that the person came. Sorry, blocked. I'm inside my shell. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to entertain you. Why? I have had bad experiences. That's the reason. Right? So, absolutely correct. One of a friend is saying that we almost burnt our hands because we opened our borders for East India Company. Rest is history. See what they did to us. They came to us and they said, we are simple traders. They destroyed us for 200 years. And when they left, our mindset became conservative, saying, no, we don't want any private company. Sorry, thank you. Please go away. This is the reason of conservatism. So before blaming somebody, India became this or that, at that time socialist and all. Yeah, there is a reason, there is a background. So we'll see all those things in the class. All right, good. So guys, despite the fact that I did not give you a dictation, that okay, this is the reason industries did not happen. But are you gathering some points? Over a period of next 3 lectures, when I tell you these data, etc., that okay, skill level very low, 4.7%. Then I'll give you some data related to capital, that okay, this much money was not available. So you can accumulate these points, and then one day when we write answer, I will tell you, please open your notes and create this answer for me. And if you are unable to do it, I'll definitely help you out. But these are the points I want you to accumulate in the class. Be creative, no spoon feeding, please. Okay? So because you will become smart in this sense. All right, cool. So let's write. Okay, please write. India and Lewis model, but very good answer, and online participation equally good as offline. Brilliant, keep it up. So India and Lewis model, please write. India almost took a jump. Did we write this? Oh, India almost took a jump from agriculture to survey. What else did we write in this? Nothing? Please put a full stop and then continue. That it was majorly because of lack of infrastructure. It was majorly because of lack of infrastructure, capital, government support, and restrictions in the form of license Raj system, that crippled the Indian manufacturing and industries, industries. It led to problems like poverty. It led to problems like poverty, inequality, unemployment. Poverty, inequality, unemployment. Put a full stop, please. Guys, think that you are the Prime Minister of this country. This is the last part for today. Imagine that you are the Prime Minister for this country, and guys, be very careful about it because you'll have to answer one question. You are the Prime Minister of this country. You know this situation. Now, okay, we directly jump from here to here. What policy will you make so that if there is a farmer's kid here and that person is not getting proper employment opportunities, what will you do so that this kid of the farmer can shift from here to here? Two things you will have to do. Brilliant answer, Debashish. What is the first thing? Education. Brilliant, brilliant. Very good answer. Good that you said education or skill. The right word should have been the skill, education and skill. Because if you would have said industries and none of your online friend mentioned the word industry, which is brilliant, and you also said skill, I'm so happy. Because how can you create industry without giving skill to them? What is the point of having industry? So brilliant point that first we need to train these workers. Very good. Now you understand why I told you that I will give you one extra lecture on skill. Because we have to establish the connection. So skill is important here. Once you provide the skill, then you need a platform. Brilliant point. That point is called infrastructure. After infrastructure, you need something. What do you need to do? Invite the industries. That hey, industries, please come. You have skilled workers, you have infrastructure, and then you have industries. So now I want to ask you a question, guys. And please, because you have given amazing answers, so please answer one more question. Suppose I tell you that the government of India created a scheme here called as National Manufacturing Policy 2011. Abhi don't write anything. Suppose I'm giving you the name of the scheme which the government created in the year 2011, and government said through this I'm going to create a bridge here. So without teaching you also, I have not taught NMP abhi, I want to ask you what are the one or two important components that must be mentioned inside NMP so that we can create a bridge, and the things that you said can be taken care of. So what will you mention here? Number one, skill. Brilliant point. Which means without a skill, this program will be a failure. So absolutely correct. You know the answer. So the first thing that must be there is skill development. Second, infrastructure. Absolutely brilliant point. So which means that even if you have not studied anything, still you know without any learning that 100% skill word will be there. Second will be infrastructure. Third will be invitation to manufacturers that please come, land is ready, establish your factory. Which means support of state government, because if you invite somebody, you have to give them land. So which means that state government support, which is federal polity or federal principle, because we follow federalism. No, capital will be included here itself, because when you invite somebody, you make sure that you help them with other things like capital. Say infrastructure includes everything. Banking infrastructure included. So guys, even if I have not taught you anything yet about NMP, but look at the brilliant answer you gave, because normally people will not give this answer. If I ask them, no, randomly, you ask your friends. So for example, you ask your friends that government has designed NMP, National Manufacturing Policy, what is it going to do? You know what answer everybody will give you. They will tell you, yeah, through NMP, government is promoting industries. That's it. They will not start at the point that you have started, and thank God without me teaching. You already gave this answer. They start from skill, so that becomes your first point. And when I teach you this, you will see the modified form of NMP which is being followed today. The word skill has been included inside that. It has changed. So when I was teaching all these things last year or last to last year, the word skill was missing from here. And I used to feel what a bad policy the government created. So what is the government do? Government say, now we are putting the word skill inside everything. So scheme changed. So please write. Please write. Government's effort to create industries and manufacturing base, to create industries and manufacturing base in India. Government's effort to create industries and manufacturing base in India. Industries and manufacturing base in India. Now hold on, please. I have just updated some data because the countries will remain the same. Data has been updated. Look at this, please. Now, can you please see on the board? It's clearly visible to you that what is the contribution? What are we doing? What are we trying to study? We are trying to compare India with some other countries which are around us. Because they said that, you know, when COVID happened, most of the factories from China should come to India. This was the idea, that Chinese factories should come to India. Where did they go? They went to Vietnam, Singapore, Bangladesh, and Thailand. They did not come to India a lot. Something happened in India, right? So why didn't they come to India? These are the things that we will examine in 3-4 lectures. But to show you the data, look at this, please. What is the contribution? Yeah, what is the contribution of manufacturing in Indian economy in terms of contribution in GDP? So if our national income is 100 rupees, this is our GDP, suppose national income. Out of this, how much is the contribution of manufacturing? 17%. We saw it today. 15 to 17 is the real answer. 15 to 17%. We have seen this today. What is the contribution of manufacturing in Vietnam economy? 20%. In Singapore, 21%. Bangladesh, 24%. China, 29%. And Thailand, 33%. This is the contribution of manufacturing in their economy. So this 29, we can easily take it to be around 30. We can say in China, the contribution of just manufacturing, mind you, this is not industry. This is manufacturing. If you add public utilities, etc., so in China, it will become 45%. So in China, just the contribution of manufacturing 29, India 17 only. This is our condition. Government felt very humiliated because whenever somebody says government showed this data, government feels very embarrassed that what are we doing? So what did government do? Government created a policy called as, I mean, don't write please. Government created a policy called as NMP. NMP is 2011. Then government created a National Industrial Corridor Development Program 2011. The current affairs, which is there in the newspaper, the industrial smart city is a part of this only. So this was also created in 2011. Don't write, I'll anyway dictate all this. Then Make in India 2014. And there is another Make in India called as MII 2.0. And then you have production linked incentives and you have PMP. These are the schemes which the government of India has launched to promote manufacturing and industries in India at various points of time. So what did the government do? The first policy which the government created, which is dedicated for manufacturing, is this policy of 2011. You know what government did at that time? So government said that through this policy, we want to increase this contribution of manufacturing in GDP from 17% to 25% of GDP. This was our target. And when did we want to achieve this? By the year 2022. But we could not, because this is 2024, still it is 17%. So what did government do? Government changed this data and government says not by 22, but by 25. So what is the current target of government of India? We want to increase the contribution of manufacturing in our GDP. This is our GDP. Contribution of manufacturing 17%. We want to raise it to 25%. By which year? 2025. Why? Because by 2025, India wants to become a $5 trillion economy. We have already become almost a $4 trillion now. So, because India wants to become $5 trillion economy, that's the first target. I'll dictate this to you, don't worry. Second target by government of India, I told you that there is a problem of skill. Because of skill, employment is not being created. So government is saying, I will create skill in such a way that in manufacturing sector, this sector, at least 100 million new jobs will be created. So government is saying for that, I am ready to give skill. Right. So for this, I will teach you some skill development programs also. I'll tell you about it. It will really help you. Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, National Skill Development Mission, or it is also called as National Skill Mission. And there is something called National Skill Qualification Framework. All these things are being used in India, which you study typically in GS paper 2. So these things are being used in India so that we can create 100 million jobs. So there is a connection. Third thing, historically, if you look at India, what is India doing? At most, India will manufacture this pen and export it for 15 rupees. That's what we do. We take plastic, we export this pen for 15 rupees. And what do other countries do? The other countries would take our steel, take our iron, take our copper, and they will convert our steel into automobile and aircraft. and they will send back the aircraft to us, they will send back the automobile to us, and we are very happy. So what is India exporting? Raw material. What is India exporting? Intermediate goods. And what are other countries doing? They are adding more features. When you add more features to raw material, that is called value addition. Other countries are doing value addition and we are sending them raw material. India says this should change. So what are we trying to promote? More value addition. What is the meaning of value addition? Instead of raw material, you focus on finished products. This is what you are trying to do. And the last point which India is trying to do, this will be the last point for your written part of the lecture today. The last point that India wants to do is, this I will explain, it will take 5 minutes. India wants that rate of growth of manufacturing or industry should be 12 to 14%. Please reserve this point. This I will teach in 5 minutes. First, let me dictate this, then I'll teach this, and then we'll call the class off. Please write. So what title have you given? Please write. Government has launched, please write, bacho. Government has launched multiple policies. Government has launched multiple policies like NMP, just write the short form, NMP, NICDP, NIC, National Industrial Corridor Development Program, NICDP, comma, MII, Make in India, MII, and so on, and so on, for the development of industries and manufacturing. Industries and manufacturing. Industries and manufacturing. Through these policies, government is trying to achieve the following targets. Government is trying to achieve the following targets. Target number 1, to increase the contribution of manufacturing, in GDP, to 25%, Number 2, to generate at least 100 million new jobs. To generate at least 100 million new jobs in manufacturing and industries. Third, to increase value addition, in the Indian industries. Fourth point, to increase the growth rate of manufacturing and industries, in India to 12 to 14% per annum. To 12 to 14% per annum means per year. 12 to 14% per year. Let me tell you about this 12 to 14% part, and that will complete our today's agenda. So there is this picture which is given in your handout. So can you please open, I think the last page or second last page, please check. I think second last page. Please open and you will find this picture. I'll tell you what this picture is, and in your handout itself you can write about it. And to my online students, if you haven't taken the printout of the handout, if you believe in soft copies, there also you can write, no issues. So you please have a look at this picture. What is this picture? See. I'm assuming that we are all starting from scratch. I'm not assuming that you know any economics, because if I start to assume that we all know all these things, then you'll miss out on many fine points. So I'm assuming that we are starting from level 0. So on many occasions, I'll tell you very basic things also. As a first basic thing which I'm going to tell you, it will help you to understand this. Please put a focus here. Now see guys, imagine that all the industries of India are owned by me, right? Owned by me. I'm the boss of all the industries. And what do I manufacture? I manufacture digital boards, I manufacture laptops, I manufacture these pens, everything I manufacture. Now, last year in 2023, what did I do? I manufactured so many items, goods, etc. And then I found the monetary value of all the goods that I manufactured, like the monetary value of the pen, the monetary value of this digital pen, board, television, air conditioner, everything. Add it. So the monetary value of all the things that I produced in industries across India is 100 rupees. Monetary value of everything that I produced in, and I produce everything in India, nobody else, is 100 rupees last year. This year, when I produced again in my industries, the monetary value of all the goods that I produce is 105 rupees. So if somebody will come and ask me that, hello, Mr. Industrialist, what is the growth rate of the industry between last year and this year? Last year 100, this year 105. Answer is 5%. That 5% is called as ROG, rate of growth. Did you understand? That 5%, ROG, it is called rate of growth per annum. So rate of growth of industries is 5%. So now, what did Niti Aayog do? In the year 2022 and 23, in these 2 years it happened. In these 2 years, Niti Aayog did a research and they published this research and they said, look carefully, bacho, this is the last part for today. What did Niti Aayog do? Niti Aayog published a research and they said that the growth rate of GDP of India, which means our national income every year, is increasing at 6 to 7% per year. National income of India, total income. So they are saying this is our current status. But Niti Aayog said that we want to achieve a growth rate of more than 10% in our GDP, which means last year India's income was 100 crore. This year India's income has become 106 crore, but we want our income to become 110, 115, 120 crores. So Niti Aayog is saying this is not good. We want to achieve this. So then Niti Aayog explains that which is that biggest instrument or biggest weapon that India can use to move from 6% GDP to 10% or 11%. So this is the Niti Aayog research. Niti Aayog has done this amazing research. Dhyan se dekho, what is the research? Look carefully, bacho. So Niti Aayog says that there are 3 sectors in the economy. First is agriculture, second is industries, and third is services. So Niti Aayog says that if you look at last 6 to 7 years of data, only 6 to 7 years, not 10 years. So Niti Aayog says if you look at just 6 to 7 years of data and you look at the growth rate of agriculture, which means if you calculate the monetary value of all the crops last year 100 crore, this year 103 crore. So rate of growth 3%. So Niti Aayog said growth rate of agriculture roughly is 3% on an average in last 7 years, average. Some years it could be 6 also, some years it will be 1 also. Like this year it was 1.5, but average is roughly 3. And Niti Aayog says this 3 cannot become 5 or 7 immediately because agriculture is a big sector and Niti Aayog is saying most of our farmers have small piece of land. When you have a small piece of land, introduction of technology becomes very difficult. So Niti Aayog says if you want to grow agriculture at 7%, 8%, 9%, it will take 10 to 12 years. So currently it will be 3 only. Then Niti Aayog says the growth rate of service sector in India is roughly 8. You check the portals, you will find it 8.3. So Niti Aayog says roughly it is 8% in India. It cannot from 8% become 13%. Why? Because service sector of India is the best in the world and we have almost saturated. We have already saturated. So this 8 might become 9, it might become 10, but this 8 will not become 17%, not possible. So Niti Aayog says this will also remain 8. What is the status of industries? The growth rate of industry On an average, if you remove last year, uske pehle if you take, because I told you the research is 2022-23, if you take 7 years, removing this year and last year, 7 years, the growth rate, average growth rate of industries in India 5%. Niti Aayog says this is criminal. Why? Because agriculture, we understand, cannot increase all of a sudden because land size is small. Services, we have already become number 1. So Niti Aayog says, what about this? We are not even number 10 in this. Our global rank in this is so bad. It is below 30, below 20. It is so bad. So Government of India said, Niti Aayog is saying that if India wants to become a developed country with GDP of rate of growth of 10%, agriculture will remain same. It won't change immediately. Service will also not change. But if the industries start to grow at 12 to 14%, which means from 5%, if it doubles, becomes 12 to 14, then the rate of growth of GDP from 6% will become 10%. This question was asked in UPSC. Because when did the Niti Aayog give this research? In 22 and 23. And let me show you when UPSC asked this question, you will understand where they asked the question from. Read the question, please. That's your mains GS paper 3. Let's read it, please. Padhiye. And you will see something. Faster economic growth requires increased share of manufacturing, especially MSMEs. This part of the question was that only. And fortunately, we keep on doing these kind of things in the class. Why? Because the advantage of this kind of course is that I told you, we have the liberty to do reports whenever we feel like. We have the liberty to bring GS2, polity, etc. and have a connection with all the economics areas. It becomes so easy to do this. So what can you do here? You can simply write a Niti Aayog quotation and say that according to Niti Aayog, this is true in India. Hence, if India wants to become a developed country, India can follow this model. Ye dekhiye. These two things you can write from Niti Aayog in your, I'll dictate this. So easy. And in this answer, do you think we could have drawn this picture? Yes, easily. It would have not taken any space. These are the diagrams that you draw in the exam. So please write. Please write an explanation. NOT, note. This is your last part for today. Note. Please write. According to Niti Aayog report, 2022-23, 2022 and 2023 and 2 years. If India is able to increase, the growth rate of industries and manufacturing, to around 12 to 14%, our ROG, what is ROG? Rate of growth. Very nice. Now your my kids, you have to use ROG. Our ROG, rate of growth of GDP. Our ROG of GDP would exceed 10%. Our rate of growth of GDP, national income, would exceed 10%. See this, 10%. Please put a full stop, guys. So now, please tell me, before we wind up, we have to fill one picture also. So can you please come to this part? I think second last page of your handout. Please come to this picture. This picture. Please come here to my online friends and to my offline friends. Please come here. Can you see these schemes designed by Government of India? You can see these schemes designed by Government of India. Now I want to ask you a very simple question. Can you please tell me what are the 4 targets that the Government of India wants to achieve through all these schemes? Those targets are fixed. Only the years have changed. Initially, we wanted to achieve them by 2022. Now we want to achieve them by 2025. But the targets are fixed. What is the first target which government wants to achieve? First, we want to increase 17% contribution to 25%. So 17 to 25%. I have already dictated you that. So for example, this part. This 17 should become 25. That's your first target. What is the second target? Create how many jobs? 100 million jobs. Brilliant. Now, third is increase value addition, which means India does not want to export raw material and intermediate goods. India wants to export technology related high value items. And how will you create technology related goods in this country? By allowing more foreign direct investment, which means to achieve this point, Government of India is inviting foreign companies like Taiwan has been invited to manufacture semiconductor chips, because we have said, Taiwan, you help India to create this. Apple, you help India to create mobile phones. Samsung, you help India. So we are inviting a lot of foreign companies just for this. Third, what should be the ROG, rate of growth of manufacturing or industries interchangeably? What should be the ROG of industries and manufacturing in India? 12 to 14%. These are the 4 targets that we want to achieve. How to achieve these 4 targets? Using which scheme? These schemes. These schemes. Which means, if you look carefully, bacho, these are the schemes that we have actually used in India and implemented in India, because we want to achieve how many targets? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now have a look at the board and please give me shortcut answer. You don't need to say 17% to 25. Simply say 25. I'll understand what you are saying. So look at this scheme called as Make in India, right? You have to give an answer. I will ask you a question that what are the 4 targets that Government of India is trying to achieve through Make in India? Quickly, without wasting time, in 1 second, please give the answer. 25%, 100 million, value addition, 12 to 14% ROG. That's it. Can you please tell me what are the 4 targets of NICP new scheme which the government is saying? 25%, 100 million, value addition, ROG 12 to 14%. Now these are the things that we are trying to do. Okay, so for today's lecture, let's fill the last page and then done for today. So where is your handout? Let me see. This part. So guys, to my online friends and offline, please open this page. Is there in your handout? Now, please tell me what are we going to write here? For those 4 targets, what are we going to write?
Targets to achieve.
Awesome. Targets related to I means industries or MFG, manufacturing. So you can simply write targets related to or targets with respect to industries or manufacturing. I for industries, MFG is manufacturing. So targets, huh? So please tell me, how are you going to fill it? Number 1, guys? 17 to 25% of GDP. Of course, 17 to 25, that's what we want. Second target, please tell me. But please write 100 million new jobs. 100 million new jobs. Third, brilliant. Increase in value addition. In the bracket, what are you going to write? I use that word. How do you add value? Through FDI, which means through FDI and research. So in the bracket, you will write FDI, R&D, research and development. FDI, research and development. Right? Next point, what will you write? 4th point? ROG. So please write ROG is equal to 12 to 14% per annum. ROG is equal to 12 to 14% per annum. Easy, difficult? Super easy. Now can I tell you the magical part? Now look at this. You don't do this. I'll tell you the magical part. You just need to delete this and see what will happen. And you're going to laugh at it. You'll say, Achha, this is mains. Don't do it, huh? So if UPSC will ask you, beta, tell us what is National Manufacturing Policy. Just write the word NMP, all the 4 things same. You just have to write NMP. When UPSC will tell you what is National Industrial Corridor Program, you just write NICDP. Your answer is correct. If UPSC will ask you what is Make in India, just write Make in India and your answer is correct. If UPSC will tell you what is PLI, just write PLI. Your answer is correct. Done. That's how you write your mains answer. So it's not very difficult, guys. I'm telling you this. It's just that you have to learn the right tricks and you just have to use the same weapon everywhere. And then you know how to get score in the exam. Now, I don't know where that handout is. Just a second, please. Somehow the file got corrupted. Otherwise, oh, I have got the question. So I was thinking I won't be able to do that one MCQ I wanted. So look at this, please. India is trying to boost manufacturing sector in this regard. Which of the following is correct? India is trying to improve manufacturing. So can you please tell me which statement is correct regarding this? Please give the answer. Number one, share of manufacturing sector in India's GDP is 1/3 with respect to China. So what is the contribution of manufacturing in India's national income? Roughly 17%. I told you 15 to 17 normally. What is the contribution of manufacturing in Chinese economy? 29%. We can call 29 as around 30. Awesome. Is it 1/3? It's around half. First statement is wrong. This is how the data questions can be asked in UPSC. So contribution of manufacturing in India 15 to 17. In China it's roughly 29. 29 matlab 30. So this is 30, this is 15 to 17. It's around half. So the statement is wrong. It says 1/3. Not correct. What is 1/3 of 30? 10. But it's already 15 to 17. So it's incorrect. Next one. India wants to achieve nearly 13% rate of growth in manufacturing. True or false? Why? 12 to 14 ka average is 13%. Hence it's correct. So your answer is only 2. So let me tell you one thing, guys, be careful because you are attending my lecture, you should know this. I will never tell you if the answer is A, B, C, D, because in this question, the correct answer is mentioned, but in future questions, whenever I create MCQs for you, I will create very bogus these options here, because I want you to attend my lecture. If you don't attend my class, you will never know what the right answer is. So in the class, I will not discuss this, I will discuss this. This is the main part. So I will tell you what is right. So this is wrong, this is right. These things are bogus. Auto exam mein you can anyway do it. So if you are coming to my class, you will know the answer. If you are not coming to my class, you will never know the answer, because this thing in future will be incorrect. I will not give the right option here. So make sure that you attend the lecture. Right? So guys, this is how we conduct the lecture. So tell me anything that troubled you. Anything where you feel that you want to ask something about, no, all okay, then you have a responsibility. Next lecture. Oh, AJ, you are still there, but you attended my last module also. Right, how come you are here? But welcome anyways. So, I guess you were also not well, I remember last time. You were going through some health issues. So I hope that you have recovered and you are doing well. So guys, next lecture I expect that you will bring something like this, a data book, and you would have seen how much of data I am going to tell you in the class. So you please bring this data book and you please keep writing in the class whenever I tell you like skill development 4.7. I wanted to give more data today, but since you don't have the book, I am reserving it for next lecture. I'll give you a lot of data which is relevant, not unnecessary, relevant. You will carry this all the while with you. So guys, for doubts, I prefer one thing, if you may allow me, because I faced some issues related to this. So whenever I come in the class, let's say next lecture, I want to open this for all of you to help you out. If you face any doubt related to what we did today, so before I come in the class to my online students, you please type your question there. So today's lecture, if anything is giving you doubt, you just type it there. When we start the next lecture, at the start I won't answer. At the end, I will read everything that you wrote and I'll start to give answer one by one. Which means even if you develop a doubt related to today's lecture in next 2-3 days, you can definitely ask that question in the next lecture. I will never say no to you. So rather than sending a mail, if I answer that question through voice and in your presence, I think that is a better way to do. Because that will give you an idea about writing part also. If something needs writing, I will write it. Some diagram, I'll draw it. So that is what I believe will be more fruitful to you. But however, if you want to, let's say, write a mail or talk regarding your economics preparation, kuch bhi, so you can write me here. But about the doubt part, I believe to help you a little more efficiently, I want to take all the doubts in the class. It really helps. It helps you. So you can write me here, or if you want to send your doubts, send it here. Last year I did this. I used to bring the question in the class, and without taking your name, I used to answer the question. This also I can do. So send me your doubts. If at all you develop anything, and if I feel it is relevant for economics or UPSC, I'll promise you I'll bring it in the class. Without taking your name, I'll answer it. That okay, this is a doubt I have got. ऐसा कर लेते हैं. Let's do it. Sure.
But you said na that India was borrowing the money from IMD and World Bank, and when they were asking that where you have it, you
put the money.
So they are including the construction, line and query. So they are not objecting on that. How can you?
Yeah, because the whole world is doing, sadly. So this is a system, this is a liberty which they give to the entire world. Otherwise, it would not have been possible. So all the world, entire world has decided that on some occasions, they might take the liberty of shifting a few definitions here and there within limits. So it is 100% allowed, it's not illegal. So NMP, MII in 2011 and 15, yeah, we could not achieve the target. Manu will see it later on, why we couldn't achieve the target. It's a long lecture, almost like it will take you 3 lectures to understand why we couldn't achieve the target. Abhi to we have just started the basics. So let the story continue, you will see it. Fine. So guys, definitely, but I'll take it up. So it was really nice meeting you. So after long, I am doing one of my favorite things, which is teaching hardcore economics. So I really enjoy doing this, and I hope that I'll make your journey also smooth. But I'll just call this lecture off on with one statement that don't worry about economics at all from today. You are here in the classroom, I'll take care of you. In whatever way required, I'll be there with you to help you with economics and GS paper 3. So thank you so much, guys, and see you in the next lecture. 7:30 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So 7:30 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thank you.